74%. Chapter 441 7th Floor. After Lin Haoyang left the partial palace, Yuan Qi did not rush to leave. He made friends with Ku Ling and Guan Feng. If he also left, he was afraid that demonic beasts would besiege them. As for the ownership of the remaining 3 red armors, Lin Haoyang was not particularly concerned. The 3 demons of Mermaid, Tiger Shark, and Dragon Jiao besieged Ku Ling and Guan Feng, and the 2 of them couldn't get any benefits. It is very likely that the 2 of Ku Ling could only win 1 red armor, and the 3 mermaid monsters won 2. After leaving the Shuadu mansion, Lin Haoyang no longer wandered around on the 6th floor. He had enough gain this time, and there was no need to waste time. When Lin Haoyang returned to the island where the passage was located, there was no one there. It seemed that he had already reached the 7th floor. Lin Haoyang didn't stay much, and hurried to a nearby stronghold, where it was the opening location agreed upon at the beginning. If everyone opens the 7th floor, if there is no accident, everyone must go from there to the 7th floor. I just watched the island. A few hours later, the 5th layer has been submerged by poisonous gas, but because of the 5th layer of magma, the seawater was blocked for a while, which slowed the spread of the seawater. Half an hour later, Lin Haoyang walked out of the passage. This is the 7th floor. Lin Haoyang saw that there were only countless floating islands. That's right, on the 7th floor, there is no complete continent, only countless floating continents. In Zhao Duanlong's data, the description of the 7th layer is endless floating continents, because these continents can move on their own, and it is impossible to count how many continents there are in the 7th layer. In the past, after the 7th floor was opened, the human race and the demonic beasts had to work together, because on the 7th floor, once they were lost, they had to wait for half a month before the 8th stage mysterious tower opened and sent everyone out. But this time, the human race and the sea race did not get together. After reaching the 7th floor, they separated, because both races were preparing to try to open the 8th floor. If they were to be together again, it would not be good. Lin Haoyang's heart tightened, and then, a huge antenna called Lin Haoyang. The antenna was very huge, covering the sky and the sun. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth. It seemed that the Sea Clan side was not so kind and would leave the passage alone. Facing the howling tentacles, Lin Haoyang raised his left arm and punched directly towards the huge tentacles. Bump! A huge sound was heard, the tentacles fell to the ground, and the small floating island shook violently. Then, the floating island deflected, unable to withstand the blow of the tentacle, and began to go towards destruction. However, the passage through which Lin Haoyang entered was not affected. Although it appeared on this floating island, it did not rely on the existence of the floating island, but it was fixed in the air. Even if the floating island was defeated, it would not have the slightest impact on the passage. On the other side, there was a sudden squirming in the middle of the antennae, and then a piece of flesh and blood flew up, and Lin Haoyang got out of it. The huge tentacles, 3 or 4 meters in thickness, at this moment Lin Haoyang turned into a nail with himself, driving it through. Roar! A huge cavity appeared in the tentacles, and the owner of the tentacles let out a terrifying roar. Then, from the back of the floating island, a huge octopus crawled out. The octopus has 8 legs. In addition to the previous attack on Lin Haoyang, there are also 3 giant legs. At this moment, a huge hollow tentacle was broken by Lin Haoyang, and the wound was healing rapidly at this moment. In less than 3 breaths, the wound on the octopus tentacles healed and recovered. Lin Haoyang is floating in the air. For him, whether there is a floating island or not has little effect on him. The octopus flipped over the floating island to free up its tentacles, and 3 huge tentacles were drawn again. Lin Haoyang still didn't care about this, just like when Ji Lingxi fought against the Black Dragon. When fighting for the same rank, because of its small size, when facing the huge demonic beasts, the human race has a certain advantage. Of course, all these advantages are based on the premise that this human race is extremely powerful. If the human body is not strong, don't play like this, it is easy to be killed by a single blow. Generally, cultivators who are not physically strong will choose to use magical item to suppress them remotely when facing demonic beasts, cooperate with the magic talisman to severely damage demonic beasts, and then kill demonic beasts. Lin Haoyang's size is too small, 3 tentacles can't fall at the same time, they can fall one by one. Facing this demonic beasts, Lin Haoyang didn't even sacrifice the magical item, and continued to punch it out. This time, Lin Haoyang urged the collapse. 18 acupoints on both arms light up, and a terrifying force erupts in Lin Haoyang's arms. Facing the drawn tentacles, Lin Haoyang blasted out with a punch. This time, the octopus's tentacles were prepared, and a layer of mask appeared outside the tentacles. Lin Haoyang smashed the mask and shattered the mask, but the power had also gone by more than half. Lin Haoyang was unable to succeed, flew away by the octopus, and smashed into the surface of the floating island. This time, Lin Haoyang was deeply embedded in the ground. Boom boom boom. When the octopus found the opportunity, where he was willing to let Lin Haoyang leave, the 4 tentacles slammed continuously, and the hitting ground continued to collapse. Contacting more than 10 times to attack with all strength, the earth, already showing signs of collapse, suddenly a sword light flashed out of the ruins when it touched the corner. The sword light flashed by, and a huge antenna was cut straight and fell to the ground. Strangely, the tentacles were cut off, and no blood was left. The cut surface was white flesh, just like sashimi. The tentacles fell, the octopus no longer attacked wildly, and the smoke dispersed, revealing the figure inside. Lin Haoyang's white robe was in tatters, almost turned into rags, with blood on the corners of his mouth, and his face covered with dirt. This time, Lin Haoyang was arguably the worst time he was beaten, not to say how badly he was injured, but to lose his face too much. Fighting in the same rank, this is the worst. Last time it was so miserable, I came out of Tianqing Minor World to fight the demon cultivator. But that time, there was a gap between the strength of the two sides, and that time was the most difficult fight, and he almost never came back. But this time, he underestimated the enemy a bit. He underestimated the octopus. It seemed that the octopus had also hidden its strength in the first blow. Lin Haoyang's face was icy, as if looking at a dead fish. He said, "Play yin with me, you are still a little tender." Having said that, Lin Haoyang slashed with his sword, leaving no hand at all. This is also the first time Lin Haoyang has fully deployed his combat power since entering the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda. What soul fixation, collapse of strength, violent foot, Tianfang, killing intent double sword. Lin Haoyang used all the available methods. After a stick of incense, Lin Haoyang walked out of the smoke and dust, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and put the octopus cut into countless sections into the storage bag. Lin Haoyang handed the seals in his hand, the smoke and dust dispersed all over his body, and he took out a piece of Xingyi from the storage bag and put it on, which was satisfied. Bump. As Lin Haoyang walked out of the smoke and dust, the entire floating island could not withstand the power of the two people fighting, and it was completely shattered. However, this has no effect on Lin Haoyang. Any gravel that is close to Lin Haoyang will be broken apart by Lin Haoyang's qi and blood pressure before he gets close, and when he gets closer, it will directly turn into powder. It is enough to see that Lin Haoyang how powerful is his qi and blood. Looking for a direction, Lin Haoyang urged spirit power and rushed to that side as quickly as possible. On the 7th floor, the map is not very useful. It can only record the appearance of some islands, and use this to record the places where the treasures are found. Generally speaking, the larger the floating island, the higher the chance of treasures appearing. 74%. Chapter 442 Change. Soon after Lin Haoyang left, Ku Ling, Mermaid and others also walked out of the passage. Ku Ling and Guanfang's expressions were not very good, especially Guanfang, many of their hair turned white. During the battle with the Sea Clan, Guanfang was attacked by a tiger shark and swept away by his death. The original source was immediately damaged and a lot of lifespan was lost. Although Guanfang had a good strength, he still had to deal with Long Zhao, lacking skills for a while, and fell into a passive position. He was not like Lin Haoyang, the source of his power was extremely powerful. Although he finally got rid of the Deathlight with the help of Shantian Taoism, he was unable to fight the Dragon Flood Dragon. He was captured by Long Zhao with a red armor, and the mermaid also took the opportunity to capture one. The last one was captured by Ku Ling. She used her charm technique to disturb the tiger shark's mind and seize the last red armor. The 5 red armors belonged to a certain degree, and everyone lost the thought of fighting anymore. They divided the remaining black armors and followed the route that Lin Haoyang had walked to the 8th floor. Seeing the floating island filled with sky and turned into a piece of rubble, everyone was secretly surprised that a terrifying battle must have taken place here. It seems that fellow Taoist Lin has gone through a big battle here. Guess who won? Yuan Qi asked. With Lin Haoyang's strength, if it weren't for meeting Yan and Zhangju, he would still have the power to protect himself. 80% of that opponent was cut by the fellow Taoist. Ku Ling said. Listening to this, Yuan Qi nodded and agreed. They had all seen Lin Haoyang's sword before. Even if they were themselves, they would have to pay a very heavy price if they wanted to defeat Lin Haoyang. Because Ji Ling's line is famous for its resistance to beating and being undead. Without this, you think you can kill him. As long as you relax a little, the other party can live and live again. Of course, this kind of situation only appears in the direct line of Ji Lingxi, and only those who have cultivated the good fortune cultivation technique have this strength. Zhao Duanlong, Wu Yangji, and Duan Hong have already established Xiaoqiang's reputation. On the other side, Long Zhao's complexion changed slightly, and they felt the aura of an octopus here. If it really met Lin Haoyang, it might have kicked the iron plate, and the possibility of being cut is extremely high. The mermaid's face was even more ugly. Lin Haoyang had already killed 2 generals of the Sea Clan in a row. If it weren't for Lin Haoyang, when the Sea Clan was in the 5th layer of the Golden Realm, they might have had even greater gains. Well, we need to act quickly and try to see if the methods prepared by the Patriarch can open the 8th floor. The mermaid said. After that, he left with Long Zhao and other Sea Clan. Seeing this, Hu Ling and others didn't say much. If it weren't for everyone to plan the 8th floor, at the 6th floor, the 2 sides would probably have a life and death battle. The 3 people of Kuling can cooperate. That is, the masters of the 3 people of Kuling teamed up to come up with a method that has the opportunity to open the 8th floor. However, whether this method can really open the 8th floor, I don't know yet. 3 people are required to verify. Those who have this kind of thinking are not only the family of Kuling, but Jianshu also has the means of a sword bearer. Lin Haoyang didn't know this, but Ji Lingxi didn't reveal the slightest about opening the 8th layer. Although Ji Ling's line brought back a lot of news, Ji Lingxi really didn't think of any way. Her most powerful thing is her physical body. What can she do? Could it be that she was asked to blast the 8th stage Xuanjing Tower? Don't be kidding, this is Sendo magical item. Lin Haoyang drove all the way. Because of the octopus thing, he is now a lot more careful. He guessed that Jianshu might have a way to open the 8th layer, but he didn't know what it was, so he needed to find these people before making plans. The 7th floor of the 8th stage mysterious crystal pagoda is a bit like a colorful 1000 cloud cover, which can float in the air. There is not much difference between up and down, left and right. Looking up at the sky, he could see a bright starry sky. The depths of the sky might be the 8th floor. Lin Haoyang speculated in his mind. Xiaojin, feel it, is there a way to the 8th floor? Lin Haoyang divine sense sank into Dantian and asked. The little golden dragon emerged from Lin Haoyang's Dantian, climbed onto Lin Haoyang's shoulders and stopped. The 8th stage profound crystal pagoda is also a magical item of the fairy way. It is not that simple to explore. The little golden dragon appeared, and the boy on the 8th floor opened his eyes again, showing a strange color in his eyes, and said. Another magical item from the fairy way. This kid is really rich in blessing. Now that the immortal magical item is born, it seems that I should have been born. However, since you have the inheritance of that adult, I will not join in the fun. That adult is crazy. Smashed me, really unreasonable. Quote. As soon as the boy's eyes moved, the figures of Jianshu, Ku Ling, and Broken Dao dazzled in front of him, and even the Yan, mermaid and other marine tribes of the marine clan were also under his observation. Little Golden Dragon came out several times before, far away from the 8th floor, and he was good at hiding himself. Therefore, even if the boy is the spirit of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, there is no small golden dragon on the first few floors. As for the ruler behind the boy, the mark on the other side is also shaking, as if he is also selecting people. Suddenly, the boy hand seals, and a flash of light shoots out from his hand. That spiritual light was extremely fast, and in the blink of an eye, it penetrated the boundary between the 7th and 8th floors and reached the 7th floor. The aura shot into the largest floating island on the 7th floor. Its size, with a radius of thousands of miles, it was a giant on the 7th floor. This floating island has been affected by the rules of the 7th floor, and no one has ever boarded it. Now, he took the initiative to appear in front of everyone, and for a while, everyone changed their color and rushed to the island in a hurry. Suddenly, countless runes lit up on the floating island, an invisible traction appeared, and the entire 7th floor trembled. The other islands on the 7th floor received the traction force of the Tao, and they all started to move, and the direction of movement was the direction of the largest island. Originally, Lin Haoyang wanted Little Golden Dragon to explore, but now it seems that there is no need to explore. Everyone in Sea Clan will definitely be concentrated in the center, and if there are any means, they will definitely be used there. If it is said that the passage leading to the 8th floor is most likely to appear, it must be on that floating island. Without questioning Little Golden Dragon, Lin Haoyang directly found an unmanned floating island, drilled a cave, and Lin Haoyang entered it. After placing some restrictions, Lin Haoyang entered it. Before, Lin Haoyang opened acupoints to 53 places, which was only one step away from 54 places. This time, Lin Haoyang had gained a lot in Shuadu Mansion, and he already had the resources to open the 54th place. The second level of the Buddha's profound art requires 180 acupoints to be activated, while the two spells of Bengjin and Violent Foot require only 18 and 36 acupoints to be activated, a total of 54 acupoints. Closing parenthesis dot. This time it is opened. The second level of the Buddha's profound art is also considered a small achievement, and the power of the Violent Foot will go further. Lin Haoyang's strength will have a huge ascension after completing the Violent Foot. 1 acupoints will be able to ascension his strength to a large extent, and he will naturally not give up. Now the 7th level mutation, naturally the stronger the strength, the more benefits he can take. A quarter of an hour later, Lin Haoyang opened the last acupoints of both legs, and Lin Haoyang instinctively used his legs. An extremely powerful force exploded, and the floating island that covered Lin Haoyang's figure was kicked out of a hole by Lin Haoyang, revealing the outside scene. I saw outside, Nangong Luyun was fighting against a Sea Clan demonic beasts. The strength of the two sides was not much different, and the fighting was very anxious. But the appearance of Lin Haoyang made the two of them look stunned, and both showed fear. 74%. Chapter 443. Not only Nangong Luyun and the demonic beasts of the Sea Clan were dumbfounded, but even Lin Haoyang himself was dumbfounded. When he shut himself down, the enemy sent him to the door by himself. Lin Haoyang opened the 54th acupoints, not only completed the outline of the acupoints of the Violent Foot, but also increased with his cultivation base. With the help of Jin Ling, Lin Haoyang brought the cultivation base ascension to the late stage of the 8th floor of the Golden Core, which is not far away from the 9th floor of the Golden Core. The treasure used for this breakthrough is very rich in spirit power. Not only did Lin Haoyang light up the 54th acupoints, but also its cultivation base, ascension to the 8th peak of the Golden Core. And the last trace, relying on that treasure, is very likely to be able to break through the 9 layers of Golden Core. When Lin Haoyang was preparing to make a breakthrough, it seemed that something was blocking him and prevented him from taking that last step. Lin Haoyang didn't know why he couldn't take this last step. Distracted, he kicked the floating island out of a hole, but he happened to see Nangong Luyun fighting the demonic beasts. At the moment when he saw Nangong Luyun, Lin Haoyang realized in his heart that he still had a knot that had not yet been solved, and if he wanted to make a breakthrough, he could only untie this knot. The demonic beasts of the Sea Clan, seeing Lin Haoyang drill out of the floating island, his complexion suddenly changed. It fought against Nangong Luyun for a treasure. This treasure is very important to it. It does not want to withdraw, but if the two human races join forces, it is probably not an opponent, and this new human race looks more terrifying than Nangong Luyun. But, for the treasure, for the future, it wants to fight at once. Roll. Lin Haoyang stepped out of the floating island without even looking at the demonic beasts. He roared, with a boundless killing intent, as if it were about to become real. The sea race demonic beasts was shocked. Too strong. Too strong. It has only a dead end. To go to his treasure, survival is important. Demonic beasts suddenly turned into a stream of light, using their talents and supernatural powers to escape. Demonic beasts fled. Lin Haoyang and Nangong Luyun didn't even look at it. Now they only see each other. How is it possible? How can your cultivation base ascension be so fast? Did you hide the cultivation base before? This is less than a day. How can you ascension so much? Kai Xiao, that rubbish. Nangong Luyun cursed secretly in his heart, and his eyes were full of incredible colors. On the 5th floor, Lin Haoyang's cultivation base was still on the 6th floor of the Golden Core. At that time, Kai Xiao went to kill Lin Haoyang. He wanted to let Kai Xiao consume Lin Haoyang, and then joined forces with Xuanyu to kill Lin Haoyang. Unexpectedly, instead of injuring Lin Haoyang, Kai Xiao made Lin Haoyang stronger. Nangong Luyun regrets in his heart, knowing that there is such a chance, he will definitely follow that day, kill Lin Haoyang, and then seize resources. With this opportunity, he might be able to walk sideways in this 8th stage mysterious tower. Nangong Luyun, you attacked and killed me that day, and you got your ancestors to take action and get a life back. But I don't know how to repent, and I went against me all the way. You are instigating those people in the Shuiwu sect and Kai Shao, otherwise a group of trash. Why do they like to trouble me so much? Lin Haoyang said with a cold voice. It is not surprising to hear Lin Haoyang telling him all about himself. No matter how weak Lin Haoyang is, he is also a disciple of the Hidao cultivator, representing the dignity of Hidao. With the four fellows of Shuiwu sect, they didn't have the guts to provoke Lin Haoyang. As long as they had a little brain, one could think that there must be someone instigating them. Yes, those people who provoke you and kill you all have my instigation, but I didn't expect those people to be so wasteful. Nangong Luyan's face was crazy. Lin Haoyang, do you think you can really kill me today? You could kill me last time, but it was luck. Your strength is vulnerable. A hint of sarcasm rose from the corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth and smiled. Last time I was lucky, I was able to kill you. I seem to be lucky this time. I will kill you again. I don't know if you can be so lucky this time, and someone can come to rescue you. Nangong Luyan's complexion changed, and Lin Haoyang now really scared him. With Nangong Luyan back in his back, a fifth-order sound-seeking magic talisman appeared. Without any hesitation, after engraving the matter here, he urged it to turn into a spiritual light and went away in an instant. The aura of the sound-seeking magic talisman could not hide from Lin Haoyang's perception, but he did not stop it. Zhenyu appeared in his hand, and said with a smile. It's called Xuanyu. Just come together, and kill them together, lest I look for them one by one. Oh, by the way, Zanyu can't kill yet, she has to leave it to Wanner, let her kill her soul. So, you are the only one who died this time. As soon as the voice fell, Lin Haoyang stopped talking nonsense. Zhenyu cut with a sword and turned into a 5-meter-long red sword chi, cutting it towards Nangong Luyan. Although only one acupoints was turned on this time, this acupoints was the last acupoints of the violent foot. Its opening was huge for Lin Haoyang's ascension. An acupoints directly pushed Lin Haoyang's power to 110,000 caddies, and the bonus of collapse and footsteps also turned from 30% to 40%. In other words, Lin Haoyang's strength is equivalent to a Tier 5 middle-stage demonic beasts based on physical strength alone. Looking at the 5-meter-long sword chi, it was not as big as it looked like, and Nangong Luyan cursed secretly in his heart. You tell me this is sword chi? Lie. But there was no way. The moment sword chi cut out, Nangong Luyan felt locked in and couldn't escape at all. In desperation, Nangong Luyan stopped running away, but saw his fingers flipped, showing a special rhythm. Compared with the gorgeous Taoism of others, it is very insignificant. Nangong Luyan became more calm, and Lin Haoyang became more cautious. He knew that the strength of this guy was different from others. Suddenly, Nangong Luyan snapped his fingers, and the space in front of him moved, and countless threads suddenly appeared. There was a sudden stop in the space where sword chi was, and it was instantly filled with those silk threads. Sword chi, who had never been disadvantaged, was actually entangled by those silk threads. Although the sword chi that Lin Haoyang cleaved was very powerful, it only cut a lot of silk threads at first. These silk threads, like a spider web, completely wrapped sword chi. Soon, those silk threads did not retreat but advanced, and even swallowed sword chi completely. The silk thread appeared until it completely swallowed sword chi, but it took only 1 or 2 breaths. Lin Haoyang frowned. Not only did his strength improve, but Nangong Luyan's strength also improved greatly. He was entangled with the demonic beasts before. It should be that he had hidden his strength. From his easily wiped out Lin Haoyang's sword chi, it can be seen that the strength of Nangong Luyan is enough to enter the second echelon. One fight. Although Nangong Luyan's strength was a little beyond Lin Haoyang's expectations, it could not stop this battle. You are very strong, and you hide well. Then Kai Shao, I am afraid it is hardly your opponent. Your fault is that you did not kill me in the first place, and now you still have no chance of winning. After that, Lin Haoyang held Zhenyu in his hand and chopped out sword chi, slashing towards Nangong Luyan. In Sword Ray, 2 killing intent swords are looming, constantly shuttled, splitting some silk threads. Just after the shot, he actually felt a trace of space power from Nangong Luyan's moves. He is now trying to push the limits of Nangong Luyan, so as not to let this guy have the slightest chance of escape. 74%. Chapter 444. Facing Lin Haoyang's mountain and sea attacks, Nangong Luyan cursed secretly in his heart. Lin Haoyang has grown to such an extent after only a long time. In the Shuyang Mountain secret realm, if it weren't for the cursed bone in Lin Haoyang's hand, Lin Haoyang would never be his opponent. Time flies, and after more than 2 decades, Lin Haoyang can already slap him down. A series of attacks fell. Nangong Luyuan's 10 fingers fluttered, countless silk threads shot out from the surrounding space, stopping all Lin Haoyang's attacks. The speed of the killing intent double sword has reached the level of nascent soul middle stage, but in the eyes of Nangong Luyuan, speed is not everything. No matter how fast, sharp, or powerful you are, you can't break his thread, everything is empty talk. After observing for a while, Lin Haoyang could conclude that Nangong Luyuan should have opened up some kind of realm. In realm, it is difficult to kill it. Before he saw Zhangju's sword it should be a kind of kendo realm, the master of killing, powerful. Nangong Luyuan's realm, although the offensive power is not weak, but the more proficient, it should be defense. Moreover, this realm of Nangong Luyuan should also incorporate a trace of space laws, allowing those silk threads to shuttle freely. Nangong Luyuan, within 10 feet of the whole body, is an absolute forbidden area. Unless the strength is much higher than that of Nangong Luyuan, he will be defeated by a single blow, otherwise he will not be able to attack his body. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was shocked, and now he realizes that realm is so simple. It's not that realm is exclusive to the gods. How does it feel like a bad street? Until now, Lin Haoyang has not felt his own realm. Now it seems that it is impossible to control realm in Golden Core realm. After discovering that Nangong Luyuan owns realm, he was slightly shocked and calmed down. If he wanted to defeat Nangong Luyuan, he could only suppress Nangong Luyuan's realm within 10 feet. At the beginning, he had felt the strength of those silk threads of Nangong Luyuan, killing people invisible, weak, and beheading your head. He didn't know where the attack came from. As a result, Lin Haoyang began to use all kinds of methods to madly suppress the Nangong Luyuan. Although Lin Haoyang has not reached the 9th level of the Golden Core in the cultivation base, the total amount of spirit power has far exceeded the ordinary 9th level of the Golden Core. With the Buddha's profound art, Lin Haoyang's total spirit power is not only weaker than Nangong Luyuan, but even more than a lot. Lin Haoyang Dantian, a gold core reflecting a red phantom, up and down in Dantian, used to absorb a lot of spirit power. Now when it shows its power, it hasn't fallen in the slightest. A thick stream of spirit power rushes out of Lin Haoyang's inner pill, links Lin Haoyang's tendons, and then transitions to the 9 spiritual veins and the 3 spiritual roots. After a quarter of an hour, spirit power was still being sent to every part of Lin Haoyang's body, so that Lin Haoyang's attack never weakened. On the opposite side, Nangong Luyuan was almost crying. He displayed realm to block Lin Haoyang's attack. To maintain realm, he needed the support of an extremely large spirit power. Although he is on the 9th level of Golden Core, he can't hold it anymore. Depend on. Are you Golden Core? Say it, the ghosts don't believe it. What? Nangong Luyuan couldn't help it anymore, and if he continued to consume it like this, I am afraid that the spirit power in his body would be drained, and Lin Haoyang could still maintain this state. Competing spirit power with dual cultivation cultivator of the Dharma body is the most stupid. After the spirit power is exhausted, the physical body is still strong. What can you do with others? Without spirit power, the power of the physical body is still strong, and when the time comes, there is only one who can be slaughtered. Nangong Luyuan's 10-finger hand seals, and the little finger of his left hand suddenly shattered and turned into a bloody mist. The blood mist circulated, and a red thread appeared in the red mist. The moment the red silk thread appeared, Lin Haoyang frowned, and he felt threatened. Without waiting for his reaction, the red color concealed into the space, and when it appeared again, it had already come before the 2 killing intent swords. Among Lin Haoyang's methods, except Junyu, the killing intent swords were the most powerful. The express delivery is fast, sharp, and weird in action. If it weren't for the silk thread realm, the killing intent swords would cause unimaginable trouble to Nangong Luyuan. If you want to defeat Lin Haoyang, or escape, you can't do it without solving the killing intent double sword. As soon as the red silk thread appeared, Lin Haoyang's sense of urgency was overwhelmed, and he wanted to urge the killing intent swords to evacuate, but it was too late. When divine sense moved, the 2 killing intent swords merged into one épée, and when the épée moved, the sky front surged towards the red silk thread. The heavy sword formed by the killing intent has no blood, but it has the killing intent as the driving force. Although the power of the sword is weakened, it should not be underestimated. The killing intent épée collided with the red silk thread, without the power of a large-scale collision, quietly. It can be seen that the red silk thread broke through the Tianfang and suddenly cut on the killing intent épée. There was still no sound, and the killing intent épée was slipped by the red silk thread. Bump. Suddenly it exploded into a thick killing intent fog, shattering the killing intent swords, and the red silk thread was not good, and it was much dim. Lin Haoyang frowned slightly. From the blow just now, it can be seen that the blow of the red silk thread is no less than the blow of the nascent soul middle stage cultivator. Otherwise, with the killing intent double sword equivalent to the top grade of tier 4, it would not be defeated so easily. The killing intent two swords collapsed. Lin Haoyang didn't panic at all. The killing intent turned around, and the scattered murderous intent suddenly gathered and turned into heavy swords again. Not as good as before. When Lin Haoyang turned on the second level of the killing intent, his control of the killing intent, and one step further, even if it collapsed and returned to the killing intent, he would not lose much. As long as those killing intents are not obliterated, he can instantly restore them. Kill. Lin Haoyang let out a soft drink. The killing intent condensed, and once again used the sword of Tianfeng, once again cut to the red silk thread. Nangong Luyun was shocked. He didn't expect the killing intent double swords to have such power. As a result, he broke the red silk thread made by one finger and wasted. Seeing that the red silk thread was tightly entangled, Nangong Luyun's eyes were incredibly satisfied. Killing intent. Can Lin Haoyang already do this? When he was in Shuyang Mountain, Lin Haoyang used killing intent sword light. But at that time, although Lin Haoyang's killing intent sword Mang was good, it couldn't make it to the table at all. Unexpectedly, after so many years, he would have been able to deal with his assassin. Boom. With another soft sound, Nangong Luyun's ring finger exploded, blood chi gathered, and once again condensed into a red thread, rushed out of realm, and slew towards dragon and tiger. This time, the red silk thread still did not attack Lin Haoyang's body, but went straight to the magical items he released. There are 6 or 7 of these magical items, some of which are from himself, and some from the opponents he killed. If he finds useful, he simply refines them as one of his own magical item oceans. Among the magical items, a feather fan is the mainstay, forming a magical item army. Feeling that the red silk thread is coming, the magical items give up attacking the silk thread realm. The magical item guards the feather fan and began to fight the red silk thread. Nangong Luyun was a little frightened when he saw his own killer being stopped again. The red feather is not simple. It should be a 5th order magical item, otherwise, it is impossible to stop the red thread. Lin Haoyang didn't look at that battlefield. He had confidence in Ling Yufan, because it came from Qishao's storage bag, which should be his natal magical item, which is naturally not weak. But at this moment, he didn't use too much mind control, and he couldn't exert much power. 74%. Chapter 445. The red silk thread was stopped again, and Nangong Luyun felt ruthless. The index and middle fingers of the left hand burst open together, and instantly condensed into 2 red silk threads, which disappeared into the air in a flash. With 4 red silk threads, Nangong Luyun is equivalent to controlling 4 5th order magical items at the same time. The consumption is so large that it is difficult for him to maintain the silk thread realm. The silk thread around Nangong Luyun gradually dissipated and submerged in the space around Nangong Luyun, as if it had never appeared before. Seeing Nangong Luyun exploded 2 fingers at the same time, a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This guy was really ruthless. He could see that it was not that simple for Nangong Luyun to release these red threads. Those fingers that exploded cannot be repaired simply by activating the cultivation technique. They can only be restored by using big medicine to make up for the vitality of the blood. Moreover, the recovery is not completed in a short period of time. It must be warmed up for a long time to fully recover. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang left and the other right, 2 red silk threads flashed, cutting to Lin Haoyang at a swift speed. With the closer distance, Lin Haoyang felt the power of these threads more clearly in his heart. The power of the red silk thread exploded, making Lin Haoyang's body feel tingling pains. If these red silk threads fall on Lin Haoyang, there is no need to think about it. Lin Haoyang will definitely be cut into several sections. With Lin Haoyang's current body, he can't hold it at all. However, Lin Haoyang didn't panic at all, patted his storage bag with his left hand, and a flying sword appeared in his hand. This flying sword was the one that Lin Haoyang removed from the beam of the house that day. On the hilt of flying sword, the word Nagaki is engraved. Nagaki should be the name of flying sword. After getting flying sword, I know that Nagaki is not easy. The divine sense mark left by the former man in the sword has long been dissipated, and Lin Haoyang's refining is extremely simple. At this moment, Lin Haoyang injected spirit power into the Chengyuan, and the ferocious sword ray burst out of the sword. As if for a long time without spirit power injection, Nagagaki shuddered, obviously very excited, once again separated a trace of divine sense and attached it to Nagagaki. When the red silk thread fell, Cheng Yuan got rid of Lin Haoyang's palm and directly faced the two red silk threads. Originally, Lin Haoyang only wanted Cheng Yuan to block one red thread, and Junyu to block another red thread. But he didn't expect that Cheng Yuan had the intention of expressing, and a sword resisted two red silk threads. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was a little surprised, but soon calmed down. Cheng Yuan was not an obscure sword back then. Seeing that Lin Haoyang took out another magical item from his storage bag, Nangong Luyun was going crazy. You, a golden core cultivator, have so many amazing magical items on your body. For Lin Haoyang, Nangong Luyun has done some investigations, and his cultivation technique, strength, and weapons used are all recorded. In his hand, there was a lot of feather fan with wind attribute left by Zheng Jicheng, which was kept by Lin Haoyang on behalf of Lin Xiaowen. In addition, Lin Haoyang should have no tier 5 magical item. What is the explanation for Ling Yu fire fan and Cheng Yuan sword? Given by Ji Lingxi. Or did you gain from entering the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda? Impossible. After he entered, he didn't get a magical item. He didn't believe that Lin Haoyang's luck was so good. In the past, he could control up to 4 red silk threads. If there were more, it would be more difficult to recover. Blast a finger and you can obtain a red silk thread equivalent to a tier 5 magical item for a short time. This technique is definitely not as simple as you imagined. Nangong Luyun gritted his teeth, and the thumb of his left hand suddenly burst into pieces, turning into a red silk thread again, and slaughtered Lin Haoyang. At this point, the fingers on Nangong Luyun's left hand, all broken. When the 5th red thread disappeared, Lin Haoyang's expression also condensed. He still had 2 tier 5 magical items from Shuadu Mansion in his hand. But manipulating too many magical items has caused his divine sense to reach its limit, and he has to make a mysterious surprise. Therefore, it is impossible for him to sacrifice magical item to deal with this red thread. Holding Junyu in his hand, sword chi rolled, and a layer of red and black sword chi wrapped Junyu so that he could not add another 3 points. In the next instant, the red silk thread tore through the space above Lin Haoyang's head and suddenly came to Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang suddenly felt a chill on his head and was extremely frightened. If the red silk thread really fell on his head, he might not be able to survive. Without any hesitation, Zhen Yu lifted up, and a sword ray rushed up. This time, Lin Haoyang tried his best, which was far from the ratio of the previous Tianfeng. It cut out with a sword and turned into a 3-meter sword ray, facing the red silk thread that had torn the space. It may be that the control of the rules is not enough. Nangong Luyun can only let the red thread tear the space once. Otherwise, with this technique of tearing space, if the 5 red silk threads come at the same time, I am afraid it will be difficult for Lin Haoyang to survive. Although the sword ray that Lin Haoyang cleaved this time was only 3 meters in size, its power, instead of decreasing, had a lot of ascension. Where sword ray went, the space was shocked, and the ripples of space spread, as if Lin Haoyang had really split the space. After one sword, Lin Haoyang slashed 8 swords in succession. The farther behind, the smaller the sword ray. When the 9th sword ray was reached, the sword ray was only about 2 meters away. Feeling the power in sword ray, Lin Haoyang himself was a little shocked. The power of this last sword is probably 3 times that of the previous one that tried to test Nangong Luyun. With this sword going down, demonic beasts of tier 5 are immortal and disabled. In my thoughts, the red silk thread had already met sword ray. The red silk thread was transformed by Nangong's left thumb and was extremely powerful. Soon, the first sword ray was broken by it. Then, the second, third, and even the 7th sword ray were all broken by it. However, opening 7 sword rays in succession caused the red silk thread to consume a lot. Not only was it dimmed a lot, but its size was also reduced a lot. The 8th sword ray was still broken by the red silk thread, but after 8 sword chi weakening, the red silk thread has become extremely weak. The 9 Dao sword chi, the strongest 9th Dao sword chi cuts. The 9th path, sword chi, contains a trace of Lin Haoyang's insight. It is powerful. Compared with the red silk thread in its complete state, there may be a gap, but a heavily consumed silk thread is not its opponent at all. Sword chi cut the red silk thread directly into 2 sections, turning it into a bloody mist. What? The red silk thread broke, and Nangong Luyun let out a crying roar. The red silk thread was connected to his divine sense, and it was destroyed at this moment, causing him to suffer backlash immediately, and the pain in his head was so sharp that it was cut through with a knife. After the 9 swords, Lin Haoyang was also exhausted, and it was difficult to use Tianfeng. But Lin Haoyang didn't panic at all, lifting Zhenyu, his physical body sword, and he began to use his physical power. Dantian returned to his original position in the body and no longer output spirit power. Spirit power no longer spewed. Lin Haoyang's acupoints on both arms and legs lit up one by one, and Lin Haoyang's robe was torn apart by terrifying power. Not only Lin Haoyang's spirit power dries up, but also Nangong Luyun. For every red silk thread, he not only needs to pay a lot of vitality, spirit power, and the power of origin, but also bear a trace of the power of rules. 5 fingers are already Nangong Luyun. The limit. Looking at the acupoints on Nangong Luyun's arms and legs, a trace of helplessness rose in Nangong Luyun's heart. Sure enough, the bastard who played dual cultivation was not that simple, but, facing Lin Haoyang, Nangong Luyun didn't panic at all. Just now, he felt the breath of Xuanyu. With Xuanyu, he couldn't die. 75%. Chapter 446. Seeing Nangong Luyun so calm, Lin Haoyang sighed. It seems that the time to come is here. Stopped, took back Chengyuan and other magical items, and even the killing intent swords returned to him. In order to deal with the red silk thread, the magical item, headed by the flame feather fan, was broken into 4 pieces. Among them, the magical items such as the black dragon long banner were destroyed because their rank was too low. The magical item that was in hand back then, now only Long Yuan can still be used. Although Long Yuan is of good quality, its recovery speed is no longer as fast as Lin Haoyang's cultivation base ascension. Coupled with Lin Haoyang's conversion to the heavy sword, and Chengyuan, Long Yuan became dispensable. When I went back this time, Lin Haoyang wanted to clean up the magical items that he didn't use and replace them with spirit stones. As for the Xuanjun sect, there is a line of extreme spirits stationed there, and there is no worry about magical item at all. If in the past, Lin Haoyang might have to bring back these useless magical items to meet the needs of the clan. Withdrawing the magical item, Lin Haoyang felt relaxed. During this time, Lin Haoyang used magical item intensively, which made Lin Haoyang exhausted. This time the mind gathered, divine sense talked around, and suddenly noticed that someone was lurking nearby. Needless to say, it must be Xuanyu. Just before the start of the war, Nangong Luyun released a sound transmission magic talisman, which was linked to Xuanyu. And only Xuanyu can come to the rescue. With a move of Lin Haoyang's hand, 3 magical charms shot out and went straight to Nangong Luyun. Suddenly, Nangong Luyun cursed secretly in his heart. It's this time, you still want my life. The 3 magical charms played by Lin Haoyang were 3 5th-tier low-grade magical charms, with superb power. At this moment, Nangong Luyun's state, let alone 3, even 1, they couldn't be received. Nangong Luyun gritted his teeth and shattered a top-grade spirit stones to supplement the spirit power. With its spirit power, Nangong Luyun sacrificed a tier 5 mid-grade defensive charm. Boom, boom, boom. There were 3 loud noises in succession. Although the 5th-tier middle-rank spirit talisman was strong, it was struck by 3 5th-tier lower-rank spirit talisman, and it was broken. The magic talisman shattered, and the terrifying power swayed away, instantly slapped Nangong Luyun away, leaving a few more wounds on his body. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang just smiled at the corner of his mouth. Zanyu didn't make a move, and he was not in a hurry. Now he still has a lot of magic charms. When Lin Haoyang left, Ouyang Ji presented a tier 5 top grade, 2 tier 5 middle grades, and 3 tier 5 low grade charms, which were originally regarded as the most treasured by the Azure Cloud sect, a total of 6. Later, Lin Haoyang seized Kai Xiao's storage bag and obtained 3 5th-tier middle ranks and 3 5th-tier low ranks from Kai Xiao's hands. There are very few high-grade spirit charms of the 5th rank, and even Kai Xiao has not been given, so it can be seen that they are precious. Although Baixianmen is based on Shanmen Bai as its foundation, it is impossible to give too many charms to Nangong Luyun. After all, Baixianmen was not the only one selected by Nangong Luyun. Seeing Xuanyu still not showing up, Lin Haoyang smiled, and 3 magic charms flew out again and saw 3 magic charms. Nangong Luyun's face was hard to see the extreme, because the magical talisman Lin Haoyang played this time were 3 5th-tier middle-grade magical talisman. In order to sacrifice these 3 charms, Lin Haoyang crushed 2 top-grade spirit stones to use as spirit power support. In order to kill Nangong Luyun, Lin Haoyang was also considered to have laid down the blood, 6 magic talisman, the value of which is almost 400,000 spirit stones, to kill a golden core. The cost is so huge. If you let Zuo Qianji know, I'm afraid it will be a lot of scolding. They spent all their efforts to kill a tier 5 demonic beasts, and rely on tier 5 magic talisman to get rid of the crisis. If the Azure Cloud sect had these 6 tier 5 magical charms, I am afraid it would be able to push the wilderness. The 3 5th tier middle grade spirit talisman were so powerful that they went straight to Nangong and killed them. The power of destroying the sky and the earth has already scared Nangong Luyun. Xuanyu, if you don't make a move yet, I'm dead. Do you think you can complete the task? If you can't complete the task, everyone can only die together. Nangong Luyun yelled frantically. In his hand, he kept taking out 3 top-grade spirit stones at the same time and crushed them together. Nangong looked very ugly, and a black magic charm appeared in his hand. This time, Nangong Luyun had no energy to absorb those spirit power, allowing those spirit power to flood into the magic talisman. What? The last breath falls on the 3 magic talisman, and the magic talisman opens. In an instant, Nangong Luyun's body was 3 feet tall, turning into a black water area, and the 3 magical charms shot into it, like a cow entering a sea of mud, without causing much impact. The danger on Nangong Luyun's side has not yet dissipated, and 3 silver needles shot from the dark. As soon as the 3 silver needles came out, Lin Haoyang instantly felt that although he was killing Nangong Luyun, his divine sense had been paying attention to Lin Haoyang, who was hiding in the dark. The 3 silver needles carry a hint of purple. Needless to say, these silver needles must be highly poisonous. Lin Haoyang could forcibly get rid of ordinary poison by virtue of the physical strength, but this poison was arranged mysteriously, and Lin Haoyang was not sure. Therefore, Lin Haoyang did not dare to let the 3 silver needles get close, and Junyu swept across in his hand. A wind suddenly formed, and the 3 silver needles were blown away in an instant. The 3 silver needles were blown away, but the danger was not relieved. From another direction, 3 silver needles flew out. Junyu turned, and again a gust of wind blew away the 3 silver needles. At the next moment, there were 6 silver needles shot. What made Lin Haoyang puzzled was that the 6 silver needles were not shot from one direction, and until now, he hadn't noticed the exact location of the silver needles. The 6 silver needles had no effect on the wind, and Lin Haoyang didn't have any more means, so he held Junyu above his head and used it as a shield directly. Ding, ding. There were 6 crisp sounds in succession, and 6 silver needles shot on the shield. Although Junyu was only a 4th-order top-grade magical item, it added a large amount of mixed gold, and its material was no worse than the 5th-order magical item. It's just that Lin Haoyang's refining technique can't reach the 5th rank, and Junyu's rank has never been able to reach the 5th rank. Only when Lin Haoyang's refining technique reaches the 5th stage, or with the help of breakthrough 5th stage, Junyu can naturally break through the 5th stage. Lin Haoyang was surprised that Junyu, who had a tier 5 material, had 6 small eyes with 6 silver needles. Don't underestimate the 5 small eyes, which shows that these silver needles are definitely capable of hurting nascent soul. In other words, Lin Haoyang's physical body resisted the attack of these silver needles, and he would be injured in all likelihood. On the other side, the power of the 3 magic talisman dissipated, and the black water area had become tattered. Looking from the broken waters, Nangong Luyun's right arm was broken at the same root, and there was a bowl-sized cavity in his abdomen, which was transparent to the front and back. This time, Nangong Luyun was completely severely injured, his spirit power was exhausted, and all the charms were not urged, probably only 70% of his power was urged. With 70% strength, most of the powers of the 3 spirit talisman were defended, but they were not able to prevent all of them. This was what Lin Haoyang had seen. In this way, Nangong Luyun was seriously injured and looked very miserable. Regarding this, Lin Haoyang didn't have the slightest relentlessness, and once again took out a spirit stones and squeezed it out, turning it into the foundation of spirit power, and played a tier 5 middle grade magic talisman. Today, no matter how much he consumes, he will kill Nangong Luyun. 75%. Chapter 447. The Might of the Red Armor. With his broken body, Nangong Luyun really felt the breath of death at this moment. Just now the 3 sisters' magic talisman, a magic talisman Yue shattered his right arm, a magic talisman Yue opened a hole in his abdomen. The last magic attack did not fall on him, but on his storage bag. The defensive power of the storage bag was not too strong, and it was hit by the remaining power of the 5th order mid-lane magic talisman, which immediately confused the position of the spiritual pattern on it. It can only be opened after repairing the spiritual patterns on it, otherwise it is forced to open. It is very likely that the space in the storage bag will explode, and the cracks in the space that exploded will swallow the person who forcibly opened it. In Nangong Luyun's storage bag, there are also 2 tier 5 mid-rank defensive charms. It is not a big problem to stop this charm at this moment. However, now he can't open the storage bag. Once he opens it forcibly, he is looking for death. Oh, fool. A sigh came from the unwilling heir. It was a mysterious voice, and when she moved her hand, a 5th order middle grade magic talisman was punched out by him, and Nangong Luyun was guarded in it. Boom. Another huge sound rang, protecting Nangong Luyun. Nangong Luyun survived, but within 100 meters of him, he was bombarded back and forth by multiple high-rank charms, and he was already broken at this moment. Being bombarded by 7 5th order magic talisman, this floating island has not been broken, making Lin Haoyang a little strange. Before he fought with the octopus, it was just as powerful as the 5th order low grade. The floating island couldn't bear it, and it was broken into rubble. And the floating island where Nangong Luyun is located can stay. It should be because of the treasure that Nangong Luyun and Nahai clan competed for, and because of the existence of the treasure, this place was preserved. Since it's out, just leave an arm. Your life, I don't want it. Someone will marry it in the future. Lin Haoyang said. Zhan Yu looked sarcastically. She made fewer shots and rarely went out of the Baixian clan, so the outside world had very little information about her. With her strength, she is better than Nangong Luyun. After all, the witchcraft technique is too mysterious, and it is easy for ordinary people to hit it. However, it is also because of the witchcraft technique that it is difficult for Zhan Yuhei to walk into the main hall and train her, and the Baixian sect tends to train her to become a sect Taoist. And train Nangong Luyun as the successor of sect in the future. In addition to Zheng Jicheng's threat before, Zhan Yu pointed out that she was hidden in the snow. Except for the exposure of Shuyang Mountain, there was no news of her. The technique of cultivating Witch Jiyu was originally very spicy, so that time, Zheng Xiaoxi was tortured and killed by him, and she didn't care. As long as she hides in sect, let alone you are a descendant of nascent soul cultivator, even if you are a descendant of the cultivator, she is not afraid. But what Lin Haoyang said just now made her laugh. Oh, just rely on you now. If it were you in the victory period, I would still be afraid of 3 points, but now. You are rubbish in my eyes and can only be slaughtered by me. Others are afraid of your physical body, I am not afraid. Zhan Yu coldly said, she is really not afraid of body cultivator for cultivating witchcraft. It can be said that the cultivator of witchcraft is very restrained from body cultivator. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth. Before he left, Ji Lingxi told him to be careful of people who know the art of witchcraft, and told him not to let such people get blood essence, otherwise it would be very troublesome. Therefore, Lin Haoyang never meant Shaolin's mysteriousness, but rather attached great importance to it. Of course, you are very good at dealing with flesh and blood, but have you dealt with these dead things? Lin Haoyang showed a smile on his face and took out the red armor. The red armor at this moment is different from what I saw in the side hall of the Shuadu mansion before, and the red is even brighter. There are 9 more bright spots behind it, exuding huge spirit power at all times. These 9 bright spots are the 9 top-grade spirit stones that Lin Haoyang stuffed in. If you want to motivate a puppet of this level, you can only keep top-grade spirit stones forever. I tried it before, and the red armor consumes a lot of spirit power. 9 top-grade spirit power may be enough for the red armor to launch 9 attacks. In other words, every time you launch an attack, you need a top-grade spirit stones, which is 10,000 ordinary spirit stones. When he first learned that the consumption was so huge, Lin Haoyang also froze for a long time. How many people can support this consumption? What's more, he still has 20 black armored puppets in his hands, so this is a bottomless pit. I am afraid it is Xuanzhenzong, and he has to tighten his belt to raise it. Seeing the red armor, Xuanyu's face changed drastically. Bai Xianmen's best thing is Xianmen Bai. Although she is not proficient in puppets, she also dabbles. Just seeing the same, she was sure that this was a tier 5 high-grade puppet. There is no nonsense about it. Lin Haoyang divine sense, the red armored puppet, turned into an afterimage, and went straight to Xuanyu. Suddenly Xuanyu was in a hurry, grabbing from the storage bag, and a tier 5 low-grade demonic beast's puppet was caught by him. The red armor didn't even look at it, but with a punch, the puppet broke and was directly destroyed. A demonic beast's puppet of tier 5 inferior grade only bought her a breath of time. Behind the red armor, a bright spot went out. Lin Haoyang didn't care. He found 12 top-grade spirit stones in Kai Xiao's storage bag, plus 6 of him, and went out to kill the 3 used by Nangong Luyun. Lin Haoyang still has 15 top-grade spirit stones in his hand. He doesn't believe it, this can't kill Xuanyu. The red armor moved again, raised a punch, and killed Xuanyu again. Zanyu changed his previous calm. The red armor was too fast, and Zanyu didn't have much reaction time at all. He gritted his teeth and threw out a storage bag. Thousands of head-sized GU worms flew out. These GU worms are one of Mysterious's killers, and it is not easy to cultivate. Really fight. Entangle a nascent soul middle stage cultivator, there is definitely no problem. But red armor came with another simple punch. Before the Changhai disperse, he was wiped out with a punch, leaving dozens of fists on the edge to be blown away. After the punch, there is one less bright spot behind the red armor, and only 7 are left, which means that the red armor can still make 7 shots. Pest, once again delayed Xuanyu for a second, let her use more methods. With just 2 punches, he broke Xuanyu's 2 assassins, making him frightened, and his hatred for Nangong Luyun, this waste, became even stronger. Xuanyu is in a life and death crisis, and Nangong Luyun is even more desperate. The brutal force in Lin Haoyang's hand broke out. Junyu used a sword to break the light shield that reached its limit, and at this point, the power of the magic talisman sacrificed by Xuanyu was completely lost. Nangong Luyun's body was broken and stood in place with difficulty. You can't kill me. I'm the future head teacher of Baixianmen. I'm the 5th rank refiner. I also know a relic of the gods. Before Nangong Luyun finished speaking, Zhenyu had already cut off his head with a sword. At the same time, his divine sense was also completely shattered, cutting off the possibility of the last resurrection. With Nangong Luyun's life and death, Lin Haoyang solved his doubts, and the obstacles that prevented him from advancing to the 9th level of Golden Core were completely broken. Lin Haoyang felt that his own cultivation base had begun to grow slowly, and his cultivation base had reached the limit of the 8th layer of Golden Core. At this moment, the cultivation base has grown a bit, and he can feel that he can break through the 9 layers of Golden Core at any time. A handful of Nangong Luyun's storage bag was sucked into the storage bag, and Nangong Luyun's body was burned casually. People are grieving. However, Lin Haoyang did not rush to break through the cultivation base, and turned to Xuanyu Dao. 10 top-grade spirit stones, sever one arm and save your life. Zan Yu's face was gloomy, and just about to start ridiculing, the red armor punched again. Zan Yu's face changed drastically, and she immediately sacrificed a 5th-tier middle-grade magic talisman, which was worthy of the punch. However, the surplus of her fist strength still made her internal organs tremble, and a squirt of blood came out. After the punch, Hong Jia raised his hand again, trying to punch the 4th punch. Zan Yu's expression changed, knowing that he was planted in Lin Haoyang's hands today. He didn't procrastinate, turned his palm into a knife, and saw his left arm all broken. Another shot of the storage bag. 10 top-grade spirit stones flew into Lin Haoyang's hands. Lin Haoyang was shocked by Xuanyu's decisiveness, but he said his words, recalled the red armor, and shouted. Roll. 75%. Chapter 448. Golden Core 9 Layers. The threat of the red armor was removed. Zanyu didn't stop, and ran away. The severed left arm fell from the air to play, and Lin Haoyang shot a pill fire and burned it to pieces. Breaking an arm is a huge loss to anyone. Without a genius treasure, it is difficult to recover. And it is even more difficult to restore to the original arm. Just like the good fortune Zhou of the Jilling line, heavenly tribulation, cultivated to a very high realm, although it can be reborn by dripping blood, its physical strength is definitely not as strong as before. Unless a large amount of genius treasures are used to directly pile their body to the original level, the amount needed is 3 to 5 times that of attacking cultivation. The stronger the body, the more terrifying this amount. On the way, Xuanyu slapped her storage bag, and a group of tiny flying insects flew out and landed on her left shoulder. Under Xuanyu's control, these flying insects turned into her left arm. The left arm composed of flying insects has only its lines, not its power, so mysterious. I don't want others to know that she is weak at the moment, and Wu Jiyu has made too many enemies together. She is afraid that if she goes out like this, others will not help but kill her. Lin Haoyang didn't care about the fleeing Xuanyu, and broke his arm, and the red armor consumed a lot of Xuanyu's methods. At this moment, Xuanyu could still have 60% strength. Lin Haoyang didn't care about such Xuanyu at all. As long as she wasn't locked in by some special means, Xuanyu was not enough to be afraid of Lin Haoyang. No longer caring about Xuanyu, Lin Haoyang's divine sense swept the entire floating island. At this moment, the floating island is still being pulled and rushing to the center island. After divine sense swept away, Lin Haoyang found that in the center of the island, there were places where divine sense could not enter. There is no need to ask, the treasure is definitely inside, and it is rare for Lin Haoyang to explore slowly at this moment. Zhen Yu repeatedly cut in his hand, and a passage appeared in front of him. After deepening, it was found that there were a lot of spiritual patterns in it, which was also the reason why it could prevent multiple fifth-order magic talisman from exploding without being destroyed. Although these spirit patterns were powerful, they did not form a formation. Lin Haoyang was invaded by Lin Haoyang at this moment. Although it was a hindrance to Lin Haoyang, it was still not so difficult to move an inch. After a stick of incense, Lin Haoyang came to the place divine sense was difficult to penetrate. With a sword cut, a small space appeared in front of Lin Haoyang. This space is not large, about 3 cubic meters. This small space is like an eggshell, locked inside. Inside the eggshell, there were pieces of prismatic crystals. Seeing these crystals, Lin Haoyang almost cried out with excitement. After just one glance, Lin Haoyang was sure that these crystals were a piece of empty spirit stones that were hard to find. They are empty spirit stones used to make magical items such as storage bags, teleportation arrays, flying boats, etc. The output of empty spirit stones is small, and the high rank is even rarer. Lin Haoyang took a look at it. There are about 20 empty spirit stones for Tier 5, and hundreds of Tier 3 and Tier 4. With these empty spirit stones alone, Lin Haoyang didn't lose money this time, and he might have made a lot of money. If these empty spirit stones are all replaced with spirit stones, it will probably be worth more than 1 million spirit stones. Moreover, there is still a price but no market. For some large quantities, once empty spirit stones minerals are found, they will be taken for themselves. The ore produced will not be sold, and will first meet own needs. The empty spirit stones on the market are very scarce. Because of this, Lin Haoyang has refined a space-based magical item, which is the flying boat that year. Now it had little effect on Lin Haoyang, and he was left in the Xuanjun sect. Lin Haoyang was so shocked just because it was rare. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang's divine sense moved, his face instantly turned aside, the red armor was thrown out by him, and suddenly a fighting body came from outside the cave. Then came the screams of demonic beasts. After only 10 breaths, the red armor returned, the armor was stained with blood, and a huge animal leg was still in his hand. The demonic beasts was too cunning, and at the cost of a beast leg, he lost his life. He was seriously injured and lost another leg. Demonic beasts was not enough to be afraid of. But this time out, there are 2 less bright spots behind the red armor. It seems that it should have launched 2 attacks. Lin Haoyang didn't put away the red armor, so he kept it in the passage. If anyone dared to kill Wush again. The space of empty spirit stones is very complicated, and ordinary storage bags can't fit too much. Even a Tier 5 storage bag can only hold 3 empty spirit stones of the same grade. No matter how much, it is likely to cause space turbulence and collapse the storage bag. The colorful light flowing in Lin Haoyang's hands, these empty spirit stones are strong, and they can't turbulence the space inside the colorful thousand cloud cover. This is a magical item in the 7th order space. After taking away the spirit stones in the space, Lin Haoyang nodded in satisfaction. This time he came to the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. The harvest was so great, even if he could not open the 8th floor, he would be worthwhile. There is no hurry to leave, this place is considered hidden, and after long-term reconstruction of the empty spirit stones, divine sense is difficult to penetrate. In addition, there are spirit patterns all over the place and red armor blocking the exit. Breakthrough here may be a good one. Choose. After setting up some more restrictions, Lin Haoyang started closed-door training directly in the cave, preparing to break through the 9 levels of Golden Core. As soon as Lin Haoyang cultivation base was released, Lin Haoyang felt that his own cultivation base was ascending in a straight line. Soon, Lin Haoyang began to attack the 9th floor of Golden Core. Lin Haoyang's closed-door training breakthrough, the floating island below him, is approaching the central island as fast as possible. The 7th floor is very wide, all the islands are unified, and it takes about 5 or 6 hours to complete. At this time, no one cared about the treasures on the other floating islands. Their goal here is to enter the 8th floor and find the magical item of Fairy Way. No matter which clan the magical item falls into, it can change the current situation, so they must come here. In fact, Lin Haoyang's worries are all unnecessary. The 7th level mutation is likely to open the 8th floor. Who has the mind to pay attention to other floating islands? Above the central floating island, the human race and the sea race stand on both sides, waiting for all the floating islands to become one. On the Terran side, more than 40 people came in, and now there are only about 20 people left. The sea race is not much better here. 60 sea race demonic beasts came in, and there are still more than 30 left at this moment. Both the human race and demonic beasts suffered heavy casualties. You must know that this is the most elite force of the two races. If you stay together here, both sides will have heartache for a long time. But for the magical item of Immortal Way, both sides smashed into it desperately. Once the failure is completely wiped out, the strong on both sides will even have a fault, and there will be a situation of failure to connect. By now, the human race may no longer be needed to open the 8th layer, and the sea race is no longer so polite to the human race. If only blood essence is needed, the sea clan doesn't even mind to directly extract blood essence. 3 or 2 hours after Lin Haoyang's closed-door training, his spirit power shocked, and the cultivation base instantly stepped into the 9th floor of the Golden Core. With the help of the growth of cultivation base, Lin Haoyang ran the Buddha's profound art, and the 3 sisters' acupoints on his back were immediately opened by him. The breakthrough of Golden Core 9 levels was a big hurdle for Lin Haoyang. Originally, Lin Haoyang thought that he could only open 2 acupoints, and 3 acupoints, which was far beyond Lin Haoyang's expectation. With Lin Haoyang's current consumption of acupoints, 3 acupoints will save Lin Haoyang at least 70 or 80,000 spirit stones. This time, cultivation base and acupoints ascension at the same time, and Lin Haoyang's power got a large ascension. After feeling a little bit, Lin Haoyang showed joy on her face. This time through breakthrough, the pure power of her physical body has already reached a terrifying 130,000 catties. With a strength of 130,000 jin, plus the 40% bonus of collapse and violent foot, Lin Haoyang can burst out of 180,000 jin with his physical body. Its power is already equivalent to a Tier 5 top-grade demonic beasts. 75%. Chapter 449 Heavenly Ladder Portal. Certainly, with Lin Haoyang's current physical strength, it is impossible to kill a Tier 5 top-grade demonic beasts. After all, others still have a series of methods such as talented supernatural powers and inner alchemy. However, demonic beasts of Tier 5 top-grade can't be beaten to death. If the opponent is not defensive, if the opponent is not prepared, Lin Haoyang can also solve the opponent's life with one punch. For demonic beasts of Tier 5, when encountering some physically weak, Lin Haoyang can also fight the opponent with his flesh, but it is almost impossible to defeat the opponent. Unless, Lin Haoyang's physical body has a breakthrough, or he has cultivated into a physical spell. At this moment, the 55th, 56th, and 57th acupoints were activated. In Lin Haoyang's mind, there was another physical body technique, the original body. This time the spell is not the ascension attack power, but the enhancement of Lin Haoyang's defense power. The body cultivator, in addition to cultivation power, also cultivates the body. Before, Lin Haoyang had been enhancing his physical strength, and his ascension against physical defenses was not great. Acupoints is turned on, although it has some effect on physical enhancement, but the effect is not very prominent. Instead, Lin Haoyang gained some fire immunity in the rock springs of Qianyuan Mountain, and the effect was good. However, with the ascension of cultivation base, the strength of the people who use the flame Taoist method has far exceeded the level of Huo Mian. Kai Xiao's use of flame Taoism exceeded his limit, and if it could not be strengthened again, the flame pattern would become very tasteless. And the original body is to make up for Lin Haoyang's shortcomings and enhance his physical defenses. Lin Haoyang no longer thinks about these things, takes back his mind, and starts to consolidate his own cultivation base. It has been almost 3 hours since he entered this world. It will not be long before all the floating islands on the 7th floor will be able to reconcile. At that time, the 8th floor will most likely be opened. Divine sense spreads out, feeling the center of the suction force, and there are bursts of collisions. You don't need to ask, you know that the floating island is uniting. At the current speed, I am afraid that it only takes half an hour for the plate where Lin Haoyang is located to be integrated with the central island. After a little consolidation, Lin Haoyang took out Nangong Luyan's storage bag and urged the red armor to consume the spirit stones too much. He had to prepare for the final battle. Want to seize the magical item of Fairy Way, his opponent will be the most enchanting generation of the human race and the sea race. Among them, there are even two super abnormalities, Yan and Jian Shu. Lin Haoyang is not sure how strong he is now. When Lin Haoyang was on the 6th floor of the Golden Core, he was really shocked by the sword sea that he watched the sword emptiness. At that time, he was indeed not his opponent. Now, Lin Haoyang has broken through the 9 layers of Golden Core, and who is stronger will not know until after fighting. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth. Only when he competed with these geniuses did he have a sense of accomplishment. He had hunted and killed demonic beasts in the wild for so many years, except when he was collecting materials and treasures, he had no fun. When he came to the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, Lin Haoyang felt that there were too many geniuses in this world. Before he thought he was very strong, and the same rank cultivator in the border was not his opponent. Here, he can't sweep, and there are many people who make him jealous. Lin Haoyang has never been a calm person. In his philosophy, the more dangerous, the more opportunities he will get. Nangong Luyun's storage bag turned out to be a tier 5 mid-level defensive magical item, which was even better than Lin Haoyang's. It is not difficult to see that there are indeed 2 brushes in the Baixian gate on the Shanmen Bai. Otherwise, a golden core 9-layer cultivator, even if she is the favorite of sect, it is difficult to use the 5th tier middle grade storage bag. The higher the level of the storage bag, the more empty spirit stones are needed, the higher the level and the greater the value. Just a 5th tier mid-grade empty spirit stones can be worthy of a 5th tier mid-range magical item, plus some other materials and manpower. A storage bag of the 5th tier medium product is roughly equivalent to 2 magical items of the 5th tier medium product. Its value is about 400,000 spirit stones. A golden core with 9 floors, the magical item of 400,000 spirit stones that I want to use is too difficult and too difficult. That's why Lin Haoyang didn't have a suitable storage bag before. And Nangong Luyun can have it. It is very likely that Baixianmen wants it to return some precious treasures. After all, some powerful treasures have poor storage bags and are difficult to fit. The empty spirit stones that Lin Haoyang harvested this time were probably one of them, but it happened to be picked up by Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang has a colorful 1000 cloud cover. Except for the magical item, other items, as long as the volume does not exceed the size of Lin Haoyang's Dantian space, there is no problem in swallowing them. After entering the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, Lin Haoyang broke through the cultivation base several times, and the Dantian space expanded into a direct 10-meter sphere. The 7-colored 1000 cloud cover also expanded. At this moment, the inside of the 7-colored 1000 cloud cover was almost 100 meters in diameter. Such a space is no longer inferior to the general 5th order low-grade storage bag, plus the few 5th order storage bags in Lin Haoyang's hand, it is completely enough. Although Nangong Luyun's storage bag was damaged, causing the dislocation of the spiritual pattern, it could not be forcibly opened. Although Lin Haoyang was only a tier 4 top-grade refiner, he still had no problem just repairing these spiritual patterns. After a quarter of an hour, all spiritual patterns were restored to their original flavor, and the storage bag was restored. Lin Haoyang's divine sense wiped away the divine sense left by Nangong Luyun. Nangong Luyun lived and died, and divine sense became very fragile. Lin Haoyang did not feel the slightest obstacle, so he took control of the storage bag. Divine sense dived into it. Lin Haoyang secretly thought, this kid is really rich. Just spirit stones. There are 15 to play. Until now, there are 11 top-grade spirit stones. Before, it saw Lin Haoyang shatter 5 or 6 top-grade spirit stones with his own eyes. Lin Haoyang collected all the spirit stones into the colorful 1000 clouds, which was safe. In addition, there are 3 5th-tier middle-rank talisman and 5 5th-tier lower-rank talisman. Coupled with the magical charms that Nangong Luyun used before, Lin Haoyang was secretly speechless. This guy is really rich. These tier 5 magical charms are basically given to the elders to deal with the demonic beasts of the sea race. The sea race demonic beasts are strong, and the big sea race powerhouses have also given a lot of means, even their own blood essence. They are already dominant in number. If there is no magical talisman suppression, the human race in this 8th stage mysterious tower will not have to play at all, just wait for it to be slaughtered. The use of tier 5 magic talisman is just a means to check and balance the Sea Clan powerhouse. Once the two sides easily use the killer's mace, I am afraid it will really cause countless deaths and injuries. Then there were some medicine pills. Lin Haoyang didn't know him, didn't dare to eat indiscriminately. Then there is nothing, there is no magical item, and there is no Baixianman's classics about Shanman Bai. The magical item of Nangong Luyun is the silk thread. Lin Haoyang is also rare to find out where he is hiding. Apart from being useful to Nangong, it is of little value to other people. After putting all the good things into the colorful thousand cloud cover, they threw the contents clean. This storage bag is a good thing. As for being retaliated by the Baixianman, he was not afraid at all. Besides, if Xuanyu was immortal, Baixianman would definitely know. He was also anxious that Baixianman would avenge him, and let Jilingxi slap all of them to death. After cleaning up, Lin Haoyang crushed 2 top-grade spirit stones and began to restore his own spirit power. There was another middle rear, and the collision sound of the merger between the floating islands became louder and louder, and suddenly the floating island he was on trembled. Lin Haoyang opened his eyes. He knew the place was here. Putting away the red armor, Lin Haoyang rushed out of the cave in one step, and what appeared in front of him was a 1,000-level high platform. Looking up along the high platform, there is a portal on the high platform. Seeing the portal, Lin Haoyang's pupils shrank. That portal, in all likelihood, is the passage to the 8th floor. 75%. Chapter 450. Looking at the portal, Lin Haoyang's heart was boiling with blood, the 8th layer. That is the place where the legendary magical item of Sendo is located. A desire arose in his heart, and Lin Haoyang couldn't help but want to rush up to the 1,000 steps to capture the magical item of Immortal Dao. But soon, Lin Haoyang woke up and withdrew from that frenzy. He saw a lot of good things, just a magical item from the fairy way, not enough to make him snatch his life regardless of his life. Now he has a jade fault that surpasses the magical item of Immortal Dao, and a projection of the magical item of Immortal Dao of extremely high rank. I have seen the Tomb of Immortals and the Bronze Sword of Immortality, and now it is in a piece of immortal magical item. So, how can a piece of magical item seduce him? When his heart calmed down completely, Lin Haoyang had already walked out of the cave, and the floating island he was on had begun to merge with the central island. Before the 1,000-level ladder, the human race and the sea race were on 2 sides. Many people still look like Lin Haoyang before. Lin Haoyang shook his head. His mood is still a little worse. On the side of the Sea Clan, this situation is even more serious. Their Dao heart is not determined by the human race. Under the temptation of magical item, half of the Sea Clan are in a frenzy of heart, and they can't wait to rush up immediately and rush into the 8th floor. Lin Haoyang did not hesitate. Yukong came to the human camp. When he came to the front, Lin Haoyang frowned. The 40 people who entered the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda at the beginning, plus him at this moment, only 23 people are left. 2 of them were still physically mutilated, and their combat effectiveness was almost 0. There are still a few people with pale faces. Although they still have combat power, they are probably less than 60%. It was Zhan Yu, who was forced to break his arm by Lin Haoyang. At this moment, he had both arms. It should have been a magic technique that he couldn't even see. Lin Haoyang is sure that at this moment, Xuanyu's combat power is only 70% left, which is considered to be a huge loss of strength. If it were not for the mysterious technique of witchcraft, his strength would definitely fall out of the second echelon. After another sweep, Lin Haoyang saw Sun Ning and Yang Bin, both of whom were acting together all the way, but they were not seriously injured. They had a treasure gift from Dragon Tuzi, but Lin Haoyang was not too worried. On the other hand, on the side of the Sea Clan, the original 60 Sea Clan such as the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda, at this moment only 37 are left, and death is more serious than the human race. The demonic beasts whose leg was broken by the red armor naturally also saw Lin Haoyang. A trace of fear flashed in his eyes, and he dodged backwards. Lin Haoyang was shocked, and everyone looked at Lin Haoyang even more shocked. Not long ago, Lin Haoyang was the Golden Core 6-layer cultivation base. In only 1 day at most, Lin Haoyang had made the cultivation base ascension to the level of the 9th level of the Golden Core. The fool knew that Lin Haoyang had a great opportunity in the 8th stage mysterious tower. Sun Ning just wanted to speak to Lin Haoyang, but was stopped by Yang Bin. At this time, Sun Ning, who was standing in the first place, glanced at him, his eyes condensed. Then he turned to Lin Haoyang and said with a smile, "Lin, fellow Taoist, has a deep blessing. It's not a small gain to come along this way." Lin Haoyang didn't care, and smiled. "Some gains are not worth mentioning. No matter how great the gains are, I am afraid they will not be as good as the things behind any door." Yeah, no matter how great the harvest is, it can't be compared to the things behind the door, so when the war starts, I also ask fellow Taoist Lin to stop hiding. If you hide, everything will belong to others. I don't care who takes away the things behind that door, but it must be the human race, even if it pays my life. Sword Zudao. Lin Haoyang frowned. Listening to the front, he was actually a bit warm and angry, thinking that the sword was a bit too wide. But after listening to the second half of the sentence, Lin Haoyang sincerely admired that he was a candidate for the sword bearer. This kind of grandeur and sacrifice is worthy of his reputation. It's no wonder that Jian Shu's look just made Sun Ning's slippery shut up. Lin Haoyang's anger disappeared, and he smiled. I have just made breakthrough, and my strength has not been completely stabilized, so I won't pick two strong opponents, then leave it to me. Hearing Lin Haoyang's words, Jian Shu was relieved, even he was afraid of Tiger Shark's death. His sword C is strong, but the death light wears off his vitality. No matter how strong the sword is, his vitality consumes too much, and he can't hold it. Before Lin Haoyang came, he didn't know whom to give to Tiger Shark, a headache opponent. Seeing Lin Haoyang taking it so confidently, he finally felt relieved. Although before coming, the sword bearer assigned the Tiger Shark family to Lin Haoyang, but Jian Shu still had concerns. After all, Lin Haoyang's cultivation base at the time was only at the 6th level of Golden Core, and he was afraid that he would not be the Tiger Shark's opponent. Now Lin Haoyang's breakthrough Golden Core 9 layers finally let him rest assured. After allocating Lin Haoyang to the opponent, Jian Shu left, and no longer cared about Lin Haoyang, facing Yan directly to prevent him from suddenly making a move. Lin Haoyang greeted Ku Ling and others before walking to Sun Ning and Yang Bin. Sun Ning pursed his mouth, apparently still angry at Yang Bin interrupting him. He didn't dare to attack Jianzhu, so he had to cast all his anger on Yang Bin. In this regard, Yang Bin just smiled. He has long been used to this. Fellow Taoist son, I came late, what's the situation now? Lin Haoyang asked. Listening to Lin Haoyang asking her, Sun Ning smiled on her face, and began to introduce her. After Sun Ning's introduction, Lin Haoyang had a basic understanding of the current situation. At present, it seems that before the 8th floor is fully opened, the two sides will not completely tear their skins, but both sides understand that this battle is inevitable. This is also the reason why Jian Shu invited Lin Haoyang to participate in the war. The central floating island is getting bigger and bigger. Its size is no longer small. Because of the collision between the floating islands, many treasures have been revealed. It can be said that today's central floating island is full of treasures, but no one collects them. Although the treasures on the 7th floor are precious, they are far away from the things on the 8th floor. Just like the empty spirit stones that Lin Haoyang harvested this time, even if your value reaches 2 million spirit stones, how can it be compared to the magical item of Fairy Road? The treasures of the 7th floor, even if they add up, there is no magical item that is more valuable. It created a situation where the 7th layer of precious light was everywhere, and no one was going to collect it. Lin Haoyang glanced at it, and his heart was very painful. If he had known this a long time ago, he would have collected more treasures before returning. Now that he has appeared, it is hard for him to leave. If he leaves at this time, I am afraid he will be given the reputation of a human traitor, and I am afraid that even Ji Lingxi will not be able to save him. Hey, Lin Haoyang let out a light sigh, and stopped thinking about it. The matter is over, and it is useless to think more. As time went on, the central floating island was intact, and when Lin Haoyang came, the central floating island was already 80% integrated. In another half an hour, the central floating island has united 99%. I saw that on the central floating island, the ladder may have been assembled that day, and a powerful light suddenly burst out at this moment. The light soared up into the sky, reaching Jushao, rushing into the sea of stars above everyone's heads. The door opened a little, and earth-shaking power radiated from it. Although it was only a trace of pressure, the central floating island suddenly shook. A trace of breath can compress the entire 7th floor float. You don't have to think about it, that breath must be left over from another fairy Dao magical item. Feeling this breath, everyone's complexion changed wildly, and they opened the cultivation base and rushed straight to the central floating island. 75%. Chapter 451. A familiar scene. At this moment, everyone, including the Sea Clan, went straight to the 1000-level ladder. Passing over those precious lights, no one was interested. At this moment, they only saw the magical item in the 8th floor. If Lin Haoyang and others get the magical item of the immortal Tao, the human race will definitely be able to stand up. They hand in the magical item of the immortal Tao, and the Sword Alliance will inevitably give them rewards. On the side of the Sea Clan, they are even more crazy. Before entering, the Emperor demonic beasts of the Sea Clan made a promise: if anyone wins the magical item of the Fairy Way, in the future, the royal family of Xiangliu will help him to be promoted to the 6th order top grade, and will give a breakthrough 7th order grade opportunity. Such a temptation made even Yan very excited. Although the Xiangliu clan is a well-deserved royal family in the sea, it is still extremely difficult to cultivate to the 7th rank. Today, in the entire Xiangliu clan, apart from the current team leader, there is only one respected elder who is a 7th order. The other Xiangliu clan can rely on the power of blood to cultivate to the 6th level. It is already pretty good. After all, resources are limited, and it is impossible for everyone to support it. And this opportunity is an excellent opportunity for demonic beasts to set foot on tier 6 and hit tier 7, and no one will give up. For a time, approaching 60 rays of light went straight under the ladder. All the people all the way to the sky, all kinds of escape techniques, at any cost. But when they stepped into the 1000-level ladder within 10,000 meters, a huge pressure fell from the sky, and Lin Haoyang and the others were caught off guard. Lin Haoyang reacted relatively quickly and immediately ran spirit power, stabilizing his body without falling down. Some people who were seriously injured were beaten suddenly, under a single strike, and fell directly to the ground. At such a speed, if they were allowed to fall, they would become a pile of mud when they hit the ground. Jian Shu frowned, and he was a strong person from cultivation base. He helped him to stabilize his figure. There is not so much emotion to talk about on the High Clan's side. If you fall down, no one will help you. Without being noticed for a while, 5 demonic beasts were too late to react and fell to the ground. Seeing its muddy corpse, the human race sighed for a while, and the few people who were unstable just now were even more afraid, and hurriedly thanked Jianzhu. Everyone, thank you in advance, but don't wait for me anymore. It's important when I get to the 8th floor. I will go back when I know I can't do anything. The man with a severed arm said helplessly, and he urged spirit power to fall to the ground and began to move forward on foot. Lin Haoyang and the others just took a look, nodded, and set off again. Just as they said, they follow, just a burden, it will drag them down. If they have to follow, they are likely to die on the road, and will prevent everyone from capturing the magical item of Immortal Way. Without further ado, everyone once again turned into streamers, rushing to the 1000-level ladder. When everyone stepped to 9 kilometers, the pressure on the whole body became stronger again, making Lin Haoyang and others 3 points slower. This time everyone was prepared, plus the severely injured person retreated automatically, and there were no more casualties. After a little adjustment, everyone went on the road again. The demonic beast side had not been delayed before, and was ahead of the Terran race, but Lin Haoyang and others were not in a hurry. They still don't know what's going on with the 1000-level ladder. It's okay to let the Sea Clan try the water. After several increases in gravity, Lin Haoyang and others have gradually figured out the routine, and the pressure will increase by 10% if they barely advance a kilometer. After understanding the law, with the strength of Lin Haoyang and the others, he almost quickly traversed a distance of 10,000 meters and came under the 1000-level ladder. When they arrived here, neither the Sea Clan nor the Human Clan moved arbitrarily. The pressure here is equivalent to the full force of a Golden Core 9 layer. Of course, there is no ordinary Golden Core 9 layer here. So the pressure here does not affect everyone too much. Looking at the 1000-level ladder in front of him, Lin Haoyang frowned. This scene was a bit familiar. Lin Haoyang's heart moved. Isn't this the stone bridge that he participated in at Shuyang Mountain that day? The more you go up, the greater the pressure on the stone bridge. At that time, both his body and cultivation base were weak, and he had only walked through the 5th stone bridge. Looking around, I found some familiar figures, Zhan Yu, Jia Mu, and Feng Prison, who all shined on the floating island and stone bridge that day. Especially the two of Jia Mu and Tiu, who overwhelmed the group, made Lin Haoyang admire him, but today I only saw Jia Mu and not Tiu, and I couldn't help but wonder, these two brothers have never been separated from each other. Now when I think about it, it seems that among the people who entered the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda that day, Lin Haoyang did not see Tai Yu's shadow either. Tai Yu has already been promoted to Nascent Soul, or something went wrong. He didn't have much hatred for the two of them, he still hoped that each other was okay. Jamu felt Lin Haoyang's gaze, nodded to Lin Haoyang, and said nothing more. Lin Haoyang frowned slightly. It seemed that something was wrong with Tai Yu. A generation of Tianzhou has fallen, making Lin Haoyang feel embarrassed. He thought of Kai Xiao and Nangong Luyun who died in his own hands, and felt the fragility of life for a while. No matter how genius, no matter how talented, and no matter how strong the power behind it is, once life and death, everything becomes empty. Lin Haoyang once again had a strong desire for strength. Only with strong strength can there be a future. The last time there was such an idea, the Lin family was robbed, and Lin Qianlong was the only one in the family to support him. At that time, he was eager for strength and cultivation base to take the Lin family out of the predicament. Over the years, as the Lin family got better and better, the Xuanzhen sect was established, and after the great backer of the Jiling line, Lin Haoyang has been cultivating, but his heart is still slacking off unknowingly. The momentum. This time, feeling the fragility of life, genius is not a life-saving card, and destiny still cannot be controlled by oneself. Hope rekindled in Lin Haoyang's heart. He wanted to become a strong man and dominate his own destiny. At this moment, he realized that although Lin Haoyang's cultivation base strength did not increase, it became even more terrifying. At this moment, Lin Haoyang is what people see, body cultivator lunatic. No one noticed Lin Haoyang's changes except Xuanyu, because people kept their eyes on the gateway to the 8th floor. However, Xuanyu, who knows Lin Haoyang's greatness, has been paying attention to Lin Haoyang's movements. Just now, although Lin Haoyang's strength in cultivation base has not changed, she can feel that Lin Haoyang is more difficult than before. Just when everyone hesitated, the 9 Prime Minister Lu Junshan appeared behind Yan, and the Sword Sea appeared behind Jian Shu. The two did not hesitate and stepped onto the top rank ladder. Suddenly, 2 beams of light shot down from the sky, just at the two of them. The two of them shook their bodies, and the 9 Prime Ministers Lu and Jian Heidong put their heads on top of their heads before venting the pressure away. Outside the 1000-level ladder, the strongest pressure is on the 9th floor of Golden Core. On the ladder, the pressure has increased significantly. Jian Shu and Yan had been prepared for a long time, but they were still taken aback. A wry smile appeared on Jian Shu's face. This 1000-level ladder is hard to wait. Immediately, the two spoke to everyone. Everyone, get ready. This first step of the ladder, the pressure has reached the first level of nascent soul. You must be careful when you climb the ladder. If you really can't hold it, or go back. There was helplessness on Jian Shu's face. He was not absolutely sure to ascend to 1,000 orders, let alone other people. Despite Jian Shu's warning, none of them retreated. They are all gods. If they don't climb this ladder today, they will damage Daoheart, and the road will not be far in the future. 76%. Chapter 452. Seeing that everyone hadn't left, Jian Shu didn't say much anymore, said, and persuaded him. Each had his own chances and couldn't force it. Although I was persuaded by my lips, Jian Shu still wanted everyone to follow him. After all, the implication of the magical item of Immortal Dao was too great. Once it falls into the hands of the sea race, it will be a disaster for the human race. The number of people who died while falling will be 1,000 times, 10,000 times. No one said any more. They stepped forward and stepped on the steps. As for the Sea Clan, they also stared at all times to prevent the other party from violently hurting people. Lin Haoyang did not hesitate, stepped on the steps, and suddenly a beam of light fell in the air and hit him. When the beam of light fell, Lin Haoyang suddenly felt a pressure to surpass the Golden Core realm. Lin Haoyang really felt that Jian Shu was not alarmist before. This coercion is indeed terrifying. Lin Haoyang adapted a little, then stepped on the other heel and stepped onto the steps. Although the coercion of the beam of light reached the level of nascent soul, Lin Haoyang felt it, and its specificity was at the level of nascent soul. With Lin Haoyang now comparable to nascent soul late stage's powerful physical body, he can continue climbing with his physical body alone. A smile appeared at the corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth. It seemed that the physical ascension during this period was finally useful. Even Lin Haoyang was even a little excited in his heart. I don't know how high the pressure is on this 1,000-story steps. Can he use this to temper his flesh? If possible, Lin Haoyang can even use the pressure of this place to open some acupoints. It saves Lin Haoyang a lot of resources. Now Lin Haoyang opens another acupoints, which consumes no less than 30,000 spirit stones. Every time acupoints is opened here, Lin Haoyang is equivalent to earning 30,000 spirit stones. When he thinks of this, Lin Haoyang's motivation immediately increases and he chases away quickly. The one who walked in the forefront was Yan. After he gave a simple command, he immediately began to climb the steps without any worries. Walking in the second place was Jian Shu. He reminded everyone that it took some time, but fell behind. But it's one position behind, but it's also far ahead of others. When they really show their strength, they can see the gap between the two and the others. In a short moment, the two have reached 50 steps. Yan and Zhangzhu are the first batch, the second batch is the 9 demons such as Mermaid, and the 7 people such as Kuling are in the human race. There is a gap in the number of people. The second batch of people are also considered strong, and they are probably at 40 steps at the moment. Then, there is the third batch of Lin Haoyang, who are candidates for some powerful 6th rank forces, such as Feng Yu, Zan Yu and others are deep in it. These people, not too far from the second batch of strength, are now at the 30th 5th level. Finally, it was the fourth batch of one of the few. Although these people were good at strength, they were still a little different from Xuanyu and the others. Although these people are at the end, they have reached the beginning of the 30 steps at this moment. Lin Haoyang didn't care about other people, but felt the rules of this place with peace of mind. At present, it seems that the pressure on them should come from the beams of light above their heads. These beams of light shoot down from the air, which will bring down pressure for everyone. Others need to use spirit power or other things to resist the pressure on their heads before they can move forward. Lin Haoyang doesn't need it. He is physically strong, even surpassing the demonic beasts such as the mermaid, who can walk freely here, let alone Lin Haoyang. With the power of his body, Lin Haoyang walked easily. If Lin Haoyang did his best, he would definitely be in the second batch, even chasing Jian Shu and Yan. However, Lin Haoyang knew that this ladder became more difficult as it went to the back. There was nothing to see in the early stage, even if he was now at the back, it would not have a big impact on the final stage. He walked in the third batch and didn't want to be too conspicuous and targeted by the Sea clan. Secondly, he promised Jian Shu that he would help to stare at the tiger shark. He didn't know if the tiger shark was really injured and could only stay in the third batch, or had another purpose, but he just stared at the tiger shark to death and didn't let him take any chance. He still has lingering fears about the death of tiger shark. If this thing is shot at the critical moment of climbing, I am afraid that the human side will suffer a lot of casualties. At the same time, Kuling and Yuanqi fixed their eyes on the mermaid and the dragon. They knew that there was a red armor in the hands of these two, and the strength of the red armor nascent soul late stage. In this place, everyone was busy resisting the pressure and slapped them down, so that there would be a large number of casualties. The human race is afraid, and the sea race is also afraid on one side. The magic talisman in the human race's hand is too terrifying. Almost all of them can be brought here. Suddenly a tier 5 magic talisman fell. Even if it was a mermaid and other Sea clan experts, they couldn't stand it. Before coming here, all parents and generations have given some means to fight against magical charms. But who can guarantee 100% defense? In case, if they couldn't prevent it, a 5th tier middle grade magic talisman that suddenly called would be enough to kill them. Those who can get here are basically the disciples of the 6th rank. The strength of the 6th rank is no problem. Some wealthy sects can even give a tier 5 high-grade magic talisman. Of course, the 5th tier top grade is the limit. As for the 6th tier magic talisman, even if Lin Haoyang is drained of all the spirit power, he will not be able to meet his urge requirements. The activation of the 6th order magic talisman requires divine sense as an aid. For Lin Hao's several breakthroughs, divine sense is only a line of distance from nascent soul, but he just can't get out. If you want to activate the 6th order magic talisman, you need at least the power of the 5th order high-grade divine sense to activate the spiritual patterns in the 6th order magic talisman. Otherwise, the magic talisman cannot be activated at all. In the beginning, the two sides were in peace, each had their own objects to stare at. Even Yan and Jian Shu were like this. When Yan and Zhangzhu were waiting for the 100th rank, his expression immediately changed. Suddenly, a flame was suddenly dropped from the swords above the two of them, and they went straight and burned. This flame is not weak, and its power is roughly equivalent to the full blow of the cultivator on the first layer of nascent soul. Yan looked at the flames falling in the beam of light, with a trace of contempt in his eyes. Nascent soul cultivator, didn't he have never cut it? A flame, can it turn up against the big wind and waves? Among the 9 prime ministers Lu behind Yan, 2 of them opened their mouths, and a poisonous mist was sprayed out by them. The poisonous mist and the flames instantly touched, and there was a groaning sound. On the other side, Jian Shu was unwilling to show weakness, and the sword sea flew out behind him, directly incorporating the flame into the sword sea, and began to split and annihilate. But when Yi and Flame really fought, their faces condensed, and the power of this sea of flames was somewhat beyond their expectations. Humph! Yan burst into tears, and two more opened his eyes behind him, and also sprayed out a poisonous mist. With the addition of this poisonous mist, it was able to overwhelm the flame, but it couldn't be extinguished in an instant. However, this flame is ultimately a rootless fire. After one blow, there is no more power left, and it is quickly extinguished by the four behind Yan. On Jianzhu's side, some methods were also used to extinguish the fire. Although this flame is only equivalent to a full blow at the first level of nascent soul, the standard of the first level of nascent soul is that of the immortal world. In other words, in the fairy world in the past, the first floor of nascent soul is equivalent to the third floor of nascent soul today. Lin Haoyang couldn't help but stun secretly, this gap, a bit big. 76%. Chapter 453, Rules. For a time, Lin Haoyang was full of yearning for the immortal realm. What kind of era would it take to make the powerhouses of the same realm in two worlds so different? Be careful, everyone, this flame is not easy. The sound of Jian Shu in his ears was a reminder to everyone. Everyone has seen that the flame is not simple, but Jian Shu personally said that everyone once again increased their vigilance by 3 points. Janai and Yulong shattered the flames, and the two went on the road again, stepping into the 101st step. After the two left, the second group of people began to attack Baixian. Everyone stepped into 100 steps, and suddenly more than a dozen flames fell from the sky, following the beam of light, and coming straight to everyone. Seeing the flames fall, everyone was prepared, and various magical items and backhands flew out to resist the flame attack. On the human side, Yuan Qi and Duan Dao dealt with the simplest. Yuan Qi magnified the dead wood in his hand, smashed it into the flame, and with the help of the power of the sixth order spiritual thing, forced the flame to one end. The broken knife was even simpler. The broken knife flew out from the back and cut it down with a single knife. There are capable people in the Sea clan. Especially the white soul whale with the largest body, spit out a column of water from his mouth, completely submerging the beam of light above his head. The beam of light comparable to the third floor of nascent soul was submerged by water at the moment, and it was completely extinguished in the water column as soon as it was about to pierce the needle. So far, the white soul whale has the easiest way to deal with this flame, and even Yan and Jian Shu are not as good as him. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth. The white soul whale was a difficult opponent. Water and fire were mutually restrained. Originally, the flame restrained the Sea clan. But the white soul whale did the opposite, allowing the water to overcome the fire, and with the help of the force of mutual restraint, it suddenly overwhelmed the flame, and passed this level easily. Seeing this, the Sea clan's eyes lit up. Living deep in the bottom of the sea all the year round, how could they have some natural magical powers about water? The white soul whale extinguished the flames, and instantly stepped into the 101st floor. With a short delay, Yan and Jianzhu had already rushed to the 110th floor. The distance between them and everyone was getting farther and farther. With the demonstration of the white spirit whale, the Sea clan each displayed their own water attribute talent magical powers. Suddenly, the Sea clan's side speed increased greatly, and several people broke through the flames above their heads and stepped into the 101st step. On the human race's side, only the two most fiercest people in Yuanqi and Dadao stepped in, and the others were still entangled. Seeing the Sea clan's speed in breaking through the flames has greatly increased, the mermaid and others are also a little panicked, and they have taken out their own means of pressing the bottom of the box. As a result, the flame's penetration speed became faster and faster, and within a few breaths, the second group of more than 10 people all set foot on the 101st order. However, in the second batch, the human race still fell behind. In general, the human race was half a position behind the sea race. The Terran began to catch up and couldn't be left behind. Lin Haoyang just shook his head about this, he didn't really care about this ranking. Lin Haoyang estimated that at least 90% of people in this 1000-level ladder would have trouble making it, so if you count it, there are only 6 or 7 people who can enter the 8th level. Therefore, at this moment, everyone tried their best to pass the first level. In Lin Haoyang's view, it was a waste of spirit power. After another while, Lin Haoyang and others stepped to the 100th step. This time, a total of more than 20 flames fell from the sky. With previous experience, the Sea clan has used its own water attribute talent magical powers one after another. Before the flames have completely fallen, there are more than a dozen talented supernatural powers rising into the sky, extinguishing those flames at the fastest speed. The Terran side also showed their magical powers, and various magical items soared into the sky. With preparation, it was equivalent to the attack of 30% of the nascent soul cultivator, and it was no longer so difficult. They were blocked by everyone. Sun Ning and Yang Bin were also in the third batch. The two were so angry that they were bloody and hard to break through the flames, but in the eyes of everyone, they belonged to the faster group. Everyone was busy cracking the flame offensive, but Lin Haoyang was the only one who did not rush, just propped up a spirit power shield above his head to prevent the flame from directly falling on him. I felt that the strength of the spirit power of the flame was only about one level of nascent soul. With Lin Haoyang's current total spirit power, it was not weaker than some nascent soul level, and even better than that of some nascent souls. After all, his inner alchemy is nothing simple. The flame spirit power strength is on the first level of nascent soul, but its true power does reach the level of nascent soul's third level. With Lin Haoyang's nascent soul late-stage flesh body, he would not die, but would be seriously injured even if he suffered this strike, so he didn't dare to resist directly. Seeing that the tiger shark was about to smash the flames above his head, a trace of helplessness rose in Lin Haoyang's heart. He originally wanted to study for a while. He was really immortal. Reached out a little on the shield and cracked a gap the size of a bowl to let the flames show through. The flames went straight to Lin Haoyang to kill like a beast. When other people saw Lin Haoyang like this, their expressions changed drastically. Is this oneself looking for death? That is equivalent to the 3-tier attack of nascent soul. If you are a golden core 9-tier cultivator, no matter how strong your physical body is, can you directly resist such a blow? Sun Ning had just slashed away the last trace of flame and finally liberated, but in a blink of an eye, he saw that Lin Haoyang was actually directing the flame to attack his body, and his heart was terrified. She had personally witnessed the power of the flame just now. If it really burned on Lin Haoyang, she could not guarantee that Lin Haoyang would survive. Forest. Before Sun Ning shouted out, he was held back by Yang Bin and said, "Don't bother him, he seems to be using those flames to forge the body. You know, he is different from us, he is a body cultivator." Reminded by Yang Bin, Sun Ning calmed down, and Lin Haoyang was a metamorphosis of the very spiritual line. He really wanted to disturb Lin Haoyang, but he might harm Lin Haoyang instead. Sun Ning hesitated. The flames had already burned to Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang suddenly showed flame patterns all over his body, wanting to resist the attack of flames. However, this flame is equivalent to a 3-layer blow from nascent soul, which has far exceeded the limit that Lin Haoyang's flame pattern can withstand. Motivate the original body and pull the flame to forge the body. These flames are not real flames, but flame rules, which can strengthen your flame pattern. Lin Haoyang's mind suddenly sounded the voice of the little golden dragon, at this moment. Seeing the flames struck, Lin Haoyang had no time to think. The Buddha's profound art was working, and the original body was working naturally. The original body Lin Haoyang only lights up 3 acupoints. According to previous experience, it is very difficult for him to activate this spell. But this spell is different from the previous 2 spells, it can feed back. If Lin Haoyang's physical body becomes stronger, it can promote the opening of acupoints, and turning on acupoints can also feed back the physical body and make it further. Today, Lin Haoyang uses the original body to help strengthen his physical body, which is basically equivalent to preparing for resuscitation. Lin Haoyang felt a mysterious power gushing out of his torso. If you feel it carefully, you can feel that these powers are gushing out from the acupoints that the original body is about to open. The original body has a total of 49 resuscitations. At this moment, it has opened 3 places, and the eruption is the most violent. The original body is also dominated by 3 acupoints to release its power. This power is very mysterious. The flames that were still turbulent before, now, under the traction of the power, rushed into the flame lines of Lin Haoyang's body. As Xiao Jinlong said, this flame is not a real flame, but a flame rule. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was absorbing the flame rules and turning them into his own use. While forging the body, while enhancing the flame pattern. The integration of the flame rules actually made Lin Haoyang's internal fire spiritual roots have an increasing trend. 76%. Chapter 454. This time, Lin Haoyang was indeed shocked, and the fire spiritual roots could be strengthened, which was a bit too heaven-defying. His golden spiritual roots have been strengthened, all relying on the rare golden spirit, and now his fire spiritual roots are also increasing. Lin Haoyang's eyes suddenly lit up, which shows that the flame rules are a great thing. It can help him strengthen his physical body and also help him strengthen the fire spiritual roots. How could such a good thing be a punishment? This is obviously a reward. Yes, that's right, this is the reward. When climbing the stone bridge, the floating island was the reward. 1000-level ladder, 100-level first level, isn't this 100th level equivalent to that floating bridge? Therefore, this flame rule is not a test at all, but a reward. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth, laughing at the stupid people of the world. Such a good thing, even thinking of Sword Ray to break it up. This is really, don't have the chance to send it to your door. Seeing Lin Haoyang's smile on his face, Sun Ning's face pulled back. Is this okay? She knew the flame, but it was comparable to the power of nascent soul's third tier. Such a powerful flame, used to train, you didn't tease me. Not only Sun Ning, but Yang Bin, Zhan Yu, Feng Prison and others are all embarrassed. Are they still human? At this moment, Zhan Yu was more scared in her heart. She was not as good as Lin Haoyang before, but now seeing Lin Haoyang's cultivation method, she feels that Lin Haoyang is even more crazy than her. Under such circumstances, it is probably impossible for her to defeat Lin Haoyang, unless she is more crazy than Lin Haoyang. The Terran side was shocked, and the sea race was really shocked. Demonic beasts, whether they are land-based demonic beasts or marine demonic beasts, rely on a strong body to fight the human race. Humans are naturally intelligent. Refining magical items, magical talisman, medicine pill, and cultivation are fast, and they make up for the weaker human body. The human race is smart, which is also the reason why the human race has been able to continuously invade the territory of the demon race for 20,000 years. If this were not the case, not only would human race not continue to expand its territory, it is very likely that it would have been annihilated long ago. They were shocked. How could a human race cultivate the flesh to such a point? Even if they were themselves, they didn't dare to let those flames fall on themselves easily. Although they were not fatal, they were seriously injured. Lin Haoyang's bizarre behavior attracted even Yan and Jian Shu's attention. The corner of Jian Shu's mouth twitched, and it seemed that he still underestimated Lin Haoyang, and he was really not a simple character. On the side, Yan also frowned slightly. Lin Haoyang's performance was far beyond his expectations. The news he had received before, Lin Haoyang was tough, but he hadn't reached this level. Yan moved his eyes, looked at the mermaid woman, then moved his lips slightly, and ordered something to her. Upon receiving Yan's transmission, the mermaid was taken aback, and Yan asked her to deal with Lin Haoyang. Keep him behind, and it is best to kick him out of the latter team. The mermaid smiled bitterly. Others didn't know Lin Haoyang's strength, but she knew that Lin Haoyang's strength was by no means under her. Moreover, Lin Haoyang also had a red armor in his hands. It was not a simple matter to take Lin Haoyang down. However, Lin Haoyang is indeed a huge threat. If he is not solved one day, the Sea Clan will not be peaceful. The mermaid stopped and let everyone move on. She was here to wait for Lin Haoyang to come up and get rid of him completely. They just took a look, and then moved on. In a short time, they had already advanced to about 150 steps. Jian Shu saw the mermaid woman stop, and knew what Yan meant, but now the human race was at a disadvantage and couldn't mobilize too many people. Even if the mermaid women are transferred away, in the second batch of teams, the human side is still at a disadvantage. Lin, fellow Taoist, be careful, the Sea Clan has begun to target you. Jian Shu didn't mobilize other people, instead he chose to tell Lin Haoyang directly that there was no alternative, some of the human resources were not enough. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of Jian Shu's mouth, but he didn't feel the pressure. The mermaid girl, he didn't have much fear. Here, he is not afraid of anyone except Yan and Jian Shu. This is the self-confidence of the body cultivator. Although everyone was shocked by Lin Haoyang's actions, after the shock, they still chose to move forward. Their goal was not Lin Haoyang, but the 8th floor. Even the tiger shark smashed the flames that fell above its head and began to set foot on the first level 100. After Lin Haoyang was half refining, the 4th batch of people began to enter the 100th rank. Seeing Lin Haoyang refining the flames, some people couldn't help but try to refining the flames, but when the flames fell, it turned into a bone-eating fire, burning his whole body. The people who come here have excellent talents and strong talents, but it doesn't mean that their bodies are like Lin Haoyang. In just a moment, the man was burned by the flame, and his entire right arm was instantly scorched. Even though the people before it seemed easy to deal with this flame, Don't forget, this flame is equivalent to a real blow to the third floor of nascent soul. The man was also decisive, and immediately turned his hand into a knife and cut off his left arm with a single knife to avoid the spread of flames. At the same time, a magic talisman appeared in the man's hand, and the magic talisman flew out and went straight to the rushing sea of fire. The magic talisman exploded, and the temperature dropped sharply. This magic talisman was a 5th-tier middle-grade magic talisman. The ice spread, and the entire flame was directly frozen, dissipating and empty. The flame dissipated, which means that his crisis has also completely dissipated. However, Lin Haoyang felt that a 5th-tier middle-grade magic talisman had come to resist an unnecessary catastrophe, and it was the kind of blood loss. In his eyes, this flame is not a crisis, but a chance. Ah, Lin Haoyang hummed softly, and the mysterious power of his body increased greatly, and he saw a bright light on his back again. With the help of the flame rule, he was left with 30,000 spirit stones. Light up and acupoints again. The mysterious power is a large increase in suction. Almost for an instant, all the flame rules are sucked into it by that acupoints. When all the flame rules dissipated, Lin Haoyang exhaled a stale breath. With the help of the flame rule, he successfully opened an acupoints, his strength increased, and his strength increased by 3,000 caddies. For Lin Haoyang, the strength of 3,000 caddies was not too strong, and it was dispensable. Lin Haoyang's biggest ascension this time was his physical body, with its flame pattern soaring, and it was at most immune to some of the flames of Golden Core's power before. Now that a large number of flame rules have been incorporated, even the powerful flame of nascent soul early stage will not do much damage to Lin Haoyang. Just like Lin Haoyang's refining flame, before relying solely on the flesh, he would be seriously injured when he resisted it. Nowadays, although it is not immune to resistance, it is only slightly injured at most. At the same time, Lin Haoyang was also very satisfied with his physical ascension. Now it seems that Golden Core's attack falls on him, and it is difficult to cause too much damage to him. This is also the reason why the Jiling line dared to fight in groups. When facing the demonic beast's army, no matter how many low-level demonic beasts you are, you can't break the defense. Everything is talked for nothing, because you can't let me lose blood. This is also the reason why the Black Dragon Demon Emperor is afraid of Ji Lingxi. In the dark black forest, no one can deal with Ji Lingxi except him. Even breaking defense. Can't do it. Lin Haoyang's refining rules are over, and there are not many people who are still fighting the flames at this moment. These people, it's not that they are the weakest, but they are restrained by the flames, and they can't show their strength. Lin Haoyang didn't help them, but stepped out one step at a time and began to climb the ladder. He couldn't wait any longer. Yan and Jianzhu had already waited for 80 steps and had already surpassed him too much. This time, Lin Haoyang didn't hide his strength anymore, and in just a few breaths, he reached the 110th order. The pressure on the second floor of Nascent Soul is really nothing to Lin Haoyang today. At 130 steps, the mermaid and tiger shark stood side by side, quietly waiting for Lin Haoyang. And the other sea races stuck each human race separately, not giving them the slightest chance to rescue Lin Haoyang. The Sea Clan had completely torn his skin and wanted to cut off Lin Haoyang at any cost. 76%. Chapter 455. This battle also frightened Lin Haoyang. He didn't seem to have done anything, and even attracted the two Sea Clan powerhouses, the mermaid and tiger shark, to join forces to kill him. Really give him a face. However, these two Sea Clan powerhouses really made Lin Haoyang feel a headache. The death of Tiger Shark caused him a headache, and after a fight, he lost 30 good fortune orbs. In order to condense these 30 good fortune orbs, he spent a life crystal. The life crystal is a 5th-grade spiritual object, and it is an excellent treasure for some nascent soul cultivators whose lifespan has dried up. A life crystal, even if it sells for 5 or 600,000 spirit stones, someone will buy it, and it is rushing to buy it. Such a treasure can be consumed by a single blow by the tiger shark. Can such a loss not make him feel heartache? If he comes up a few more times, he will have to cry. The mermaid clan is not a simple character. There can be a 7th-order demon emperor in the clan, and the bloodline is bound to be extremely powerful. The news from Zhao Duanlong, the mermaid clan, is good at charm and sound waves. One charm is not even worse than that of 100 flowers, each has its own merits. But in the sound wave, no one is around. When the mermaid clan opened their voices, it was difficult for the humans to resist. There was a battle between the human race and the sea race. The mermaid monster emperor was born. As soon as the singing came out, the human race cultivator suddenly lost its fighting spirit. It can be said that the mermaid demon emperor, with his own power, instantly subverted the balance of battle. In that battle, the human race suffered heavy damage, and in the end, the sword-holding man shot the king wildly. Otherwise, in that battle, the Terran army would definitely be annihilated. That battle was led by Muzuzi, who was hit hard by the mermaid demon emperor and another demon emperor and nearly fell. Finally, he was saved by the sword-bearer and escaped. After the battle, Muzuzi evacuated the border and went to Shuyang Mountain to guard. Firstly, to heal the wounds. Secondly, Shuyang Mountain is really important, and it needs a strong man like Muzuzi to guard it. The cold light flashed in Lin Haoyang's eyes, and soul concentration was fully activated. The mermaid sound wave was really terrifying, and he had to take full precautions. Unfortunately, when he left, he did not ask Ji Lingxi for a divine sense type defense magical item. If he had a tier 5 defense magical item at this moment, he would not worry so much now. Lin Haoyang stopped at the 10th step, and the mermaid and tiger shark stopped at the 30th step, condescending. Lin, fellow Taoist, this place is dangerous, you still don't continue to climb into the valley. I know that fellow Taoist Lin has the ability, but I have joined hands. Is fellow Taoist Lin confident that we can win the two of us? There was a hint of joking in the mermaid's voice, mixed with a hint of charm, as if to play with and applaud. In Lin Haoyang's mind, the ghost opened his eyes, not all white eyes, no pupils. It looked terrifying, but there was nothing even. Once, Lin Haoyang thought that there was a problem with the white eyes of his soul phantom, but later discovered that his soul white eyes were not only special, but also unique. At this moment, the enchanting voice of the mermaid came and turned into the red mist of divine sense, covering Lin Haoyang's sea-conscious space. Transformed into a Meow Man woman, brushed over Lin Haoyang's body. Turning into a depressive voice, Lin Haoyang was about to move in his heart. With a flowery eye, the scenery in front of Lin Haoyang changed, and the whole person seemed to fall into the transition of a god. Dozens of wonderful women in light clothes surrounded Lin Haoyang, singing and dancing continuously. Even dedicate his own body. When a man sees this scene, he can't hold back his inner desire, and he can't wait to sleep here forever. Seeing that Lin Hao's eyes gradually showed crimson, Tiger Shark knew that Lin Haoyang should have been hit. If among the Sea clan, he doesn't want to provoke anyone, the first is of course the Xiangliu clan. Second, it is the Mermaid clan. The Mermaid clan has a very high right to speak among the Sea clan. Before the Xiangliu clan came to the ocean, the master of the seabed was the Mermaid clan. It is the Mermaid clan that dominates the Sea clan, but I don't know how many tens of thousands of years ago, but no one dares to underestimate the Mermaid clan. Being able to command the Sea clan is definitely powerful. Being able to overthrow such a strong clan also shows from the side that the strength of the Xiangliu clan is beyond everyone's belief. Seeing Lin Haoyang's changes, the human race was a little unable to sit still. They all knew that the Great Spirit line was strong in the physical body, and divine sense was weak. It's okay to meet other sea tribes, and it is really troublesome to meet the mermaid tribe at this moment. When other people were worried and couldn't help but want to do something, only Sun Ning had a calm face. She knows how many soul crystals Lin Haoyang swallowed at the beginning. To say the strength of divine sense, as long as you don't break through nascent soul realm, you can't be stronger than Lin Haoyang. But if you want to be in Golden Core, you need to break through divine sense to nascent soul, which is extremely difficult. It requires talent and countless resources. More importantly, this is not necessary at all. You have the spare time to make divine sense break through nascent soul in Golden Core realm. It is better to promote cultivation based to nascent soul. In this way, what can be argued about if it is a matter of course? Seeing Lin Haoyang's appearance, the mermaid hesitated, whether Lin Haoyang was charmed by him. She always feels something is wrong. It is too easy. How can a golden core cultivator that is not weaker than her be so easy to be controlled by her? Lin, fellow Taoist, how about leaving? The mermaid was not relieved. A pink aura exuded from his body, turning into a fishtail of Taoist body, and headed straight for Lin Haoyang. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang pulled up a smile at the corner of his mouth. The pupils in both eyes disappeared, all turned into white eyes, and a terrifying breath emanated from his body. The power of the previous charm suddenly disappeared. Looking at the floating pink mermaid, Lin Haoyang didn't talk nonsense. He lifted his fist and slammed it down. Lin Haoyang also used Bang Jin and Violent Foot, and with a punch, the fist wins everywhere. Bump. The pink mermaid shattered at the sound, suddenly turned into air currents, and dissipated into the air. A look of fear appeared in Tiger Shark's eyes, and Lin Haoyang was beaten by Lin Haoyang that day, and there was a shadow in his heart. At this moment, Lin Haoyang's pair of eyes looked at the Tiger Shark's spine cold. What is that? Not only the Tiger Shark, but even the human race did not know what Lin Haoyang's eyes were. Could it be? Lin Haoyang was in a demon. No wonder everyone suspected Lin Haoyang. It was really that Lin Haoyang's current state was too weird. When everyone was shocked and uncertain, the mermaid girl no longer kept her hands, and began to deal with Lin Haoyang with all her strength. The beautiful god of singing spread throughout the 1,000-level ladder, but the location where the voice was locked was Lin Haoyang. The sound waves spread out, and the space was a little distorted. The tiger shark was pulled back to reality by the sound waves, suppressing the panic in his heart, and immediately displayed his talents and magical powers, and a death light was ejected from his mouth. But at this moment, there was a cold behind the tiger shark, and the tiger shark's soul was violent, and immediately turned around and avoided this strike. Bump! The tiger shark left with its front foot, and a sharp knife light fell on his back foot and exploded. The light of the knife was cut down, and spiritual patterns flashed on the 1,000-chance ladder, blocking the light of the knife. The tiger shark avoided the knife light dangerously, and his anger couldn't increase. The 4 lights were also completely cheaper than the original route. Even Lin Haoyang's skin was not wiped. As soon as I turned around, I saw Sun Ning arrogantly staring at him, and the blade in his hand burst. There is no need to ask. She must have chopped out the blade just now. With Sun Ning's shot, the human race and the sea race completely broke their skins and began an all-round battle. Facing the sonic offensive of the mermaid, Lin Haoyang actually still had a headache. Although the gods and souls are in a special state, he cannot be affected by the mermaid's singing. But the ringing sound waves made him feel uncomfortable, as if his eardrums were about to burst. Lin Haoyang flicked his hand, the red armor was thrown by him, and he went straight to kill the 2 of them. 76%. Chapter 456. The spirit stones behind the red armor were filled up again, and another batch was seized before, so that Lin Haoyang had nearly 30 top-grade spirit stones. In this battle, Lin Haoyang didn't plan to keep his hands anymore, he wanted to go all out. As soon as the red armor came out, he immediately blasted the tiger shark with a punch, and couldn't let him make a move. Everyone's complexion changed wildly. A 5th-tier high-grade puppet, this thing is too rare. The mermaid gritted his teeth, a scaly on the center of his eyebrows flashed, and a red armor flew out, and immediately greeted the red armor released by Lin Haoyang. The difference is that there are only 5 bright spots behind the red armor released by the mermaid woman. No way, the mermaid clan doesn't need spirit stones at all, and they don't have magical items, charms, and formations that need spirit stones to drive. The most powerful thing about them is the blood in their bodies. Spirit stones can't strengthen their blood, so why does he carry such spirit stones? The 5 spirit stones on the red armor were still found in a human storage bag they killed. Otherwise, they might not even be able to collect the spirit stones that spurred the red armor. She only has 5 spirit stones, and she can't drag Lin Haoyang for a long time. Once Lin Haoyang's red armor takes the advantage, the situation will be reversed instantly, and the battle will be biased towards the human race. Therefore, only 5 shots are left for the mermaid. Lin Haoyang and the mermaid threw out the red armors. Kuling and Yuan Qi no longer hide their clumsiness. The 2 red armors instantly rushed into the Sea Clan camp and began to kill all quarters. Long Zhao knew that he couldn't hide. A dragon scale flashed, and a red armor flew out. The 5 nascent soul late-stage puppets that appeared suddenly made everyone completely dumbfounded. When did these high-rank puppets become mainland goods? The most important thing is that even the Sea Clan has this thing. Long Zhao shot and restrained one puppet, and the other puppet rushed into the Sea Clan. With one punch, 2 or 3 demonic beasts were smashed into the air. The red armor is too powerful, and with a punch, it is a nascent soul late-stage blow, and few people can resist it. The beluga whale gritted its teeth and spit out a mass of human head-sized objects from its mouth. This thing is not his inner alchemy, but a mass of whale oil, which is extremely important to the beluga whale. The whale oil of the 7th Order Demon Emperor is an excellent treasure. For the human race, the whale oil of the Demon Emperor can only be used as lamp oil. As a kind of magical item material, there is not much use, and no one will hunt and kill beluga whales specifically for whale oil. After all, beluga whales are not a weak race. Only in the past, when the human race and the sea race fought, a tier 6 white soul whale was beheaded, and the human race seized some whale oil. In addition to finding that whale oil is suitable for lamp oil, whale oil has another function, which is to store the unconscious divine sense of the strong. Although there is no self-consciousness, it can burst out the 3-point strength of the strong. At this moment, the whale oil spit out by the beluga whale was a mass of tier 6 beluga whale oil. In other words, there is a 6th-order white spirit whale's consciousness blessing it. Moby Dick whale deep fried, but in an instant, a huge Moby Dick appeared in the sky. As soon as he appeared, he did not attack the human race. With his tail swinging, one head slammed into the other red armor. This is the divine soul projection of a 6th-tier high-grade white soul whale. Even if it is only 30% of the strength, it cannot be resisted by a red armor. Seeing the white spirit whale's divine sense projection hit, the red armor did not shudder, and immediately punched out, wanting to fight the white spirit whale. Bump. The result is obvious, the red armor shattered and turned into fragments. The terrifying power of the explosion rushed out the surrounding demonic beasts of the Sea Clan, and suffered serious injuries. The self-detonation power of the 5th-order high-grade puppets is extremely terrifying. If it weren't for the powerful physical bodies of these Sea Clan demonic beasts, if they were replaced by ordinary people, they would most likely have died under this explosion. Smashed the red armor, took a punch from the red armor, and was backlash exploded by it. The white spirit whale divine sense projection was also a lot illusory, but it had not completely dissipated. At this moment, a huge withered tree fell from the sky, directly smashing the white soul whale phantom to smash. FK, you ruined my treasure and you want to pay for your life today. Yuan Qi shouted angrily, desperately urging the 6th-order spiritual thing in his hand, and began to chase the white soul whale. The red armor is extremely important to Yuan Qi. He wants to go one step further with the puppet, and the opportunity lies above the red armor. Now that the red armor is destroyed by the white soul whale, he could not be angry. This thing is related to his way. To break the path of humanity is equivalent to murdering parents. No wonder Yuan Qi is desperate to fight the white spirit whale. Yuan Qi is also powerful, with the dead tree in his hand enlarged, and the beluga whales that fought have been retreating steadily. The battle was fiercer than Lin Haoyang's side. The bottom is already integrated, and Lin Haoyang is even more precarious, but Yan and Zhangzhu are unmoved, and they are about to climb the 200th step at this moment. Why, you don't care about their life or death? Seeing Jian Shu didn't move, Yan said sarcastically. 20 or 30 people died. In exchange for the lives of tens of thousands of people, I think it is worth it. Even if I die here today, I will not hesitate. Jian Shu said. An angry look appeared on Yan's face. The sword holder was the most terrifying, extremely powerful, and he was not afraid of death. Even the demon emperor Xiangliu at the 7th-order peak could not do anything with the sword holder. Now, when I met the disciples of the swordsman, they were all fools. Yan did not speak anymore, saying more was useless. As for the fighting situation of the people below, he is not very concerned. In his eyes, these people are just his subjects, and life and death have little relationship. Seeing the fighting in other places getting worse, a smile appeared on Lin Haoyang's mouth. What can you do now in the melee? Zhen Yu appeared in his hands, and Lin Haoyang burst out with a violent move. Both the mermaid and the tiger shark are good at long-range attacks and not good at close combat. Once Lin Haoyang pulls the distance, the mermaid and the tiger shark will fall into a passive situation instead. In addition, Lin Haoyang's body is extremely powerful. Once close combat, Lin Haoyang is likely to fight back. Violent Foot has now reached its full form, and its instantaneous acceleration has reached a terrifying level. Even on the 1000-level ladder, his sudden acceleration was terrifying. In a short moment, Lin Haoyang climbed the 120th steps, and there was only about 10 steps between the two. Tiger Shark's face changed drastically, no longer being distracted by Sun Ning, and immediately activated his innate supernatural powers, and a dead light shot towards Lin Haoyang. Seeing the death light, Lin Haoyang's heart jumped. He was still a little afraid of this thing. With a wave of Junyu in his hand, a sword ray cut out of the sky peak and went straight to the tiger shark, trying to interrupt the tiger shark. But at this moment, the mermaid moved, and a huge mermaid phantom appeared behind him. At the critical moment, the mermaid also used the power of its own blood. Ah! The melodious singing voice spread again. This time, Lin Haoyang's mind was shocked. The mermaid with the blessing of blood, this singing is really terrifying. Singing no longer affects Lin Haoyang through divine sense, but through sound. Even if Lin Haoyang has the ability to roll his eyes, it has no effect. This time the singing voice directly hit Lin Haoyang's skull through Lin Haoyang's ears. If Lin Haoyang didn't respond, I am afraid that his whole brain will be crushed by this sound wave. 76%. Chapter 457 Close Combat. The original body revolves. The power of the physical body is urged by Lin Haoyang. Outside the physical body, a mysterious power envelops it, isolating the singing of the mermaid. Although the singing was temporarily isolated, Lin Haoyang was not at ease. This thing could at most isolate the 3-breath time. After 3 breaths, Lin Haoyang was likely to be shattered by this sound wave to shatter his internal organs and brain, and the singing of the mermaid was too terrifying. Severely stepped on the 1,000-step stone ladder, Lin Haoyang's whole body broke out again, and shot out directly. This time, Lin Haoyang mobilized his whole body strength and slashed at the mermaid. The mysterious power that suddenly appeared in Lin Haoyang's body made the fish girl panic. The singing of her burning blood was so easily guarded. This is too simple. Before he was surprised, Lin Haoyang had already struck him with a sword. This sword was stronger than the blow of the broken tiger shark's inner alchemy that day, and made her feel that death was approaching. The black and red twisted sword chi seems to be able to break through the earth. When Tiger Shark saw this sword, a cold sweat suddenly appeared on his head. On that day, Lin Haoyang broke through the inner alchemy with a sword. If this sword fell on him, he would probably die here today. With fear in his heart, the tiger shark no longer has the heart to fight again. Originally at this time, if Tiger Shark performed his death, he would surely be able to share most of the pressure for the mermaid, but unfortunately, he was already occupied by fear at this moment, and he had never thought about sharing the pressure for the mermaid. But what he wanted was to take the head right now. Wasn't he looking for death? If he was given such a sword again, he would have no other means to save his life. The mermaid woman secretly scolded Tiger Shark for being stupid. If Tiger Shark helped him share 1 or 2, how could she be so passive? Seeing that the sword was about to fall, the mermaid woman was a little helpless, took off the pearl necklace on her chest, and threw it at the sword that Lin Haoyang had cut. The pearl flew into the air. Lin Haoyang frowned, and he had seen the white spirit whale's methods, so don't ask, this thing must be the same thing as that white spirit whale. Now that the sword is on the string, it has to be sent, the ultimate Tianfeng sword, straight to the necklace. When the necklace was about to fall, a huge phantom appeared in the air and saw a sword ray cut by Lin Haoyang. With a flick of the phantom, Lin Haoyang's seemingly terrifying sword flicked away. Together with Lin Haoyang himself, he spouted a mouthful of blood and flew out. Lin Haoyang wanted to scold someone. Didn't he mean that the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda can only bear the Golden Core realm? These guys, one by one, summoned their ancestors, but nothing happened. You told me that if you exceed the Golden Core, it is easy to cause turbulence in the secret realm. Lie. This huge figure appeared, and even Yan and Jian Shu, who were about to climb the 200th floor, were shocked. Such a huge body, more than a kilometer, even more than a 1,000-level ladder, appeared. The eyes of everyone present gathered. Whether it is the human race or the sea race, this is the mermaid demon emperor, right? She projected herself in. Is it really okay? This secret realm will not collapse. When the mermaid phantom was released, the mermaid girl was also pale, with a wry smile on her mouth. She didn't want it. If it weren't for the threat of Lin Haoyang's sword just now, it was so great that she even felt powerless to resist. If that sword falls, she feels that she has no chance of surviving. Under such circumstances, the mermaid woman releases her own means of protection. She is the bloodline of the mermaid demon emperor, and her bloodline is extremely pure. Before leaving, the mermaid demon emperor gave this treasure to save her life at the critical moment. She is going to die. No matter whether the secret realm will collapse or not, her own survival is the most important thing. Ya, are you looking for death? At this moment, even Yan was a little angry and summoned the demon emperor. If this caused the 8th stage mysterious tower to collapse, everyone present would die. At this moment, the mermaid was protected under the phantom, and she didn't care about anything else, and she didn't even listen to Yan's words. Patriarch, please kill this person. The mermaid woman was full of anger. At this moment, she was like making Lin Haoyang die. Outside, the mermaid demon emperor frowned. Just now, she felt that the treasure she had given was passively used. It seemed that the sea of humanity was in a life and death crisis in the 8th stage mysterious tower. There is the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, which is a fairy tale magical item. Even with her divine sense, it is impossible to detect the situation inside. She can only rely on some induction to know that she has used the means left to the mermaid, which also shows that there is a crisis of the mermaid inside. However, she was not afraid of this big crisis, but the passive use of the protector she gave, and whether there would be any changes in the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. Lin Haoyang's complexion changed, and a token appeared in his hand, which was given by Ji Lingxi that day. If you want to survive under the Mermaid Demon Emperor, you can only rely on the means given by Ji Lingxi. The phantom of the Mermaid Demon Emperor, although unable to contact the Demon Emperor in reality, still has a trace of wisdom. She glanced at Lin Haoyang and saw the token in Lin Haoyang's hand. A disciple of Ji Lingxi? Xu Ying asked. Lin Haoyang nodded. Facing such a strong person, still don't have too much thoughts. At the moment when she saw Lin Haoyang, she knew that she couldn't kill this person, and if she tried to kill it forcibly, it would definitely provoke the guardian power of Ji Lingxi. At that time, the projections of the two powerful men in the same Dao fight against each other, and I am afraid that few of you will be able to survive. If 1 or 2 projections of He Dao and the 7th Order Demon Emperor are provoked, I am afraid that they will be blown up here. Of course, it is just to explode this 1000-level ladder. If you want to explode the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, you can do it with a few projections on the screen. I am afraid that the magical item in the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda has long been hidden. Facing the request of the mermaid, Xu Ying shook his head. It was not that she couldn't do it, but that she couldn't do it. Once she did, everyone here might be buried for Lin Haoyang, including the mermaid herself. Seeing the ghost shook his head, the anger and excitement in the eyes of the mermaid gradually subsided, and an incredible color gradually rose. How could it be possible that a 7th Order Demon Emperor could not kill a golden core? Even if this is just a ray of divine sense from the Demon Emperor, but if you say that you kill golden core, you can crush it to death with just one finger. This is also the reason why Lin Haoyang used his full strength before and was easily broken by the shadow. The gap is too big. In fact, with the strength of the mermaid woman, she was still very strong. She was defeated so miserably. She had seen the power of Lin Haoyang's sword before she came, and she knew she was not sure to take it. At the same time, the song she sang by the power of urging blood had no effect on Lin Haoyang. This was her strongest method, and it had never been unfavorable in the past. But now Lin Haoyang tells her that your strongest means has no effect on me. Under the pressure of death, everyone will go crazy. She couldn't figure out how Lin Haoyang resisted his singing. The divine sense attack didn't work before, but it turned into a sonic attack, which was still useless. Seeing the mermaid go crazy, Xu Ying shook his head. This child has a strong talent, but Dao heart is too fragile. At this moment, a voice came from the portal on the 1000-level ladder. Quickly retreat, or let your divine sense projection disappear completely. 77%. Chapter 458, the 8th floor. Hearing the voice from the 8th floor, Lin Haoyang frowned. Someone. The mermaid phantom looked at the door, narrowed his eyes, wanting to see through the person who was talking inside. Humph. A soft drink came from the portal, and immediately, a huge beam of light fell from the sky, encompassing all the phantoms of the mermaid demon emperor. Shrouded by the beam of light, the mermaid demon emperor frowned. She just tried it, but she didn't expect the owner of this voice to be so angry. The projection of the mermaid demon emperor could not last too long. Seeing that countless runes were condensed in the beam of light, the mermaid demon emperor's mouth broke, and he didn't want to fight with him. It didn't make any sense. The spirit pattern in the beam of light has not yet fully formed. The mermaid demon emperor leaned over and pointed at the center of the mermaid woman's eyebrows to help her stabilize the Dao heart. The mermaid demon emperor clicked this finger, and it consumed a lot of money. It was not a simple matter to help others get rid of Heart's demon. Seeing the mermaid woman his eyes gradually regaining clarity, the mermaid demon emperor turned his head to look at Lin Haoyang, and said, "Since she has lost, she doesn't have to behead her. After she wakes up, she will naturally withdraw from this fight. If you have to kill him, then when you come out, I will slap you to death." Quote. Lin Haoyang was shocked by the violent words of the mermaid demon emperor, and everyone said so. What else could he do? Kill Ya, and then let the fish monster emperor slap him to death. Although there are swordsmen guarding the outside world, a demon emperor wholeheartedly wants to kill a golden core, and the chance of him being shot to death is still very high. Lin Haoyang didn't dare to bet. How could the life of a mermaid compare to him? Helpless, Lin Haoyang could only nodded and agreed. Seeing Lin Haoyang's promise, the mermaid monster emperor smiled, and the projection disappeared. The projection of the mermaid demon emperor disappeared, the beam of light above his head disappeared, and the spiritual patterns that were about to take shape disappeared. Ha, you run fast. Tell you directly, that gateway is the gateway to the 8th floor. If you want to go in, just climb up. But who dares to get a Hidao projection again? I will slap him to death with a palm first. A Hidao will not turn the sky. After that, the voice disappeared, and the 7th floor was quiet again. The fierce two parties who had originally fought each other stopped at this moment. That is, the owner of the 8th stage Xuanjing Tower. Is it smart? Sure enough, this thing has a master. Even Yuan Qi didn't do anything anymore, but still stared at the Moby Dick, as if he wouldn't stop without killing him. The white soul whale is also very upset. Wouldn't he ruin your red armored puppet? As for, still desperate with him. He could see it, that Yuan Qi is really immortal with him. Had it not been for the sudden appearance of the Mermaid Demon Emperor and interrupted the fight, Yuan Qi might have pulled out the 5th order high-grade magic talisman. As soon as the top 5 spirit talisman came out, if the Demon Emperor Phantom was not invited out, he would not be able to pick it up. He also used whale oil. As long as Yuan Qi used the top 5 talisman, he would definitely die here today. He still has a way to summon the Demon Emperor, but didn't he listen to the mysterious person? Once someone summons the projection, he kills it first. Seeing the appearance of the Mermaid Monster Emperor, the white soul whale might easily kill him with its mysterious strength. In other words, once summoned, he may die faster. The Moby Dick regrets it very much. He has to provoke someone bad. He must go to provoke the lunatic Yuan Qi. Lin Haoyang glanced at the gradually clear and elegant eyes, and said with a blank expression. The Demon Emperor begs me and asks me not to kill you. You leave the 1000-level ladder yourself, otherwise, even if you die, I will still kill you. With a struggling expression on Ya's face, she finally shook her head without saying anything, and walked down the ladder. It seemed that she had really given up this opportunity. Ya chose to quit. Lin Haoyang let out a sigh of relief. He could shield the power of Ya's singing, but he only had 3 breaths. After the 3 breaths, he would be suppressed by the singing to death, and then defeated. Looking at the figure of Ya leaving, Lin Haoyang knew that Ya was not defeated by himself, but by experience and courage. If Lin Haoyang were replaced by Ya, he would definitely not rush to summon the Mermaid Demon Emperor at the time. Lin Haoyang was used to licking blood on the tip of the knife, and would not give up until the last moment. Turning around and no longer looking at Ya, he turned his gaze to Tiger Shark. In World War I, even if he was not an opponent, Tiger Shark didn't even have the slightest chance. Originally, Tiger Shark had fear in his heart. In the last battle, Lin Haoyang cut Heart's demon with a sword. At that moment, others didn't know what happened, but he did. Even the Mermaid Demon Emperor had to give him a face, begging Lin Haoyang not to kill Ya, otherwise she might chase Lin Haoyang's body after she went out. It would be terrifying for the Demon Emperor to stop, no matter what the reason. Then Ya retired and stopped participating in the battle for magical item of the Fairy Way, bringing the Tiger Shark's fear of Lin Haoyang to its culmination. Seeing that the Tiger Shark is not in a climate, Lin Haoyang is not in a hurry, holding Zhen Yu on his shoulders, and walking slowly towards the Tiger Shark step by step. Don't come, or I will summon my ancestors too. Tiger Shark was full of horror, spat out a tooth from its mouth, horrified. Looking at his slightly yellowed teeth, Lin Haoyang twitched the corners of his mouth. When did the Demon Emperor be so casual? Can you summon the projection of the Demon Emperor by catching anyone at random? If this thing were put before, he would be extremely afraid, but now, is he afraid? He is not afraid at all. If you want to die, then you can use it well and see if you die first or I die first. Being stared at by Lin Haoyang was a little uncomfortable, and finally couldn't bear the pressure, and completely collapsed. The teeth floating in front of him exuded extremely powerful power. Just a moment of feeling, Lin Haoyang knew that these teeth were definitely something of the book Demon Emperor. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang's eyes gleamed, that is to say, this tooth is the tooth of the Demon Emperor. To some extent, this is a 7th order material. Hey, if you tell me how to erase the breath of the Demon Emperor on it, I can spare your life. Lin Haoyang said. Tiger Shark's lifeless eyes. When Lin Haoyang said this, he suddenly became energetic. He did not want to die. This may be his last chance to survive. However, the Tiger Shark hesitated, and the Tiger Shark was not stupid. This tooth was given by the Demon Emperor. If the Demon Emperor aura on it was erased, wouldn't it become a tier 7 material? Thinking of this, the corner of the Tiger Shark's mouth twitched. A treasure of self-defense, which should be used by Lin Haoyang as material and wasted. Shameless. Say or not, Lin Haoyang urged the red sword Qian Junyu. If the tiger shark didn't know how to promote it, he would cut it off, and then brought the tooth back. At that time, please ask the sword-bearer senior to help. He still doesn't believe that this protective treasure can't be broken. After Lin Haoyang was like this, the tiger shark was immediately scared. Is this a lunatic? Even his body protection treasures have to be snatched. Under Lin Haoyang's coercion and lure, tiger shark had no choice but to agree to Lin Haoyang's request and told Lin Haoyang how to control his teeth. Afterwards, Lin Haoyang found the flaw and completely cut off the tiger shark demon emperor's method of staying on it in one fell swoop. Suddenly, a small tiger shark got out of its teeth. After a glance at the tiger shark, it disappeared into the air. When the little tiger shark dissipated, Lin Haoyang felt the crisis in his teeth dissipate, and there was no more threat, and the teeth became an ordinary grade 7 material. 77%. Chapter 459. Putting away the teeth of the tiger shark monster emperor, Lin Haoyang blasted out a punch and hit the tiger shark abdomen. The huge force directly penetrated the tiger shark back and forth. With one blow, the tiger shark was abolished, and it was considered as having no combat power. Without the inner alchemy, he was severely injured, and the things that protect the road were taken away. The tiger shark was abandoned, and it didn't have much effect. Leave your life and get off the ladder. Lin Haoyang said coldly. He was never a good person. Letting go of mermaid was because of the face of the mermaid demon emperor. If mermaid is really abolished, I am afraid that when he goes out, he will be slapped to death by the mermaid demon emperor. But the tiger shark is different. Once the tiger shark is allowed to leave, his death will kill him at a critical moment. Just in case, it is the safest to discard it, or even kill it. To avoid being besieged and killed by all the Sea clan, he still shouldn't be so extreme. After the tiger shark was abolished, Lin Haoyang didn't even look at it. Mermaid left, and the battle on the red armor was over. The red armor was made of no material, and the two armors fought for a long time without leaving too many traces. Seeing that the 4 bright spots behind the red armor faded away, Lin Haoyang waved his hand, and another 4 top-grade spirit stones flew out, replenishing the consumed spirit stones, and the red armor regained its peak strength. The mermaid and the tiger shark besieged and killed Lin Haoyang. One was defeated and the other was seriously injured. No one had expected such a result. Approaching the 200 steps, Yan was full of sullen expression, wishing to report Lin Haoyang. He could see that Lin Haoyang wouldn't be able to defend against the sonic attack of Mermaid Ya. So long as Ya lasted a little longer, Lin Haoyang would undoubtedly die. Ya panicked, and was frightened by Lin Haoyang's sword, causing the Sea clan to suddenly become 2 generals. After this, you will pay the price. The cowards are not qualified to live. Yan whispered, no longer looking at Lin Haoyang, turned around and waited for the 200th floor. Lin Haoyang is now the general trend, plus a red armor, everyone of the Sea clan, who dares to kill him. The red armor guarded Lin Haoyang, and Lin Haoyang put Zhen Yu on his shoulders and walked up step by step. The human race and the sea race were on both sides, just watching Lin Haoyang climb up step by step. No one dared to make a move. Even Zhan Yu, after taking a look at Lin Haoyang, looked aside. How Lin Haoyang was too powerful. She is not an opponent. Even in terms of talent and opportunity, she is not an opponent. Zhan Yu secretly made up her mind that after returning this time, she will close door training and will not take a step out of the Baixian gate easily. Moreover, where there will be Lin Haoyang in the future, she will never take a step closer. Lin Haoyang's speed was extremely fast. In just 3 breaths, Lin Haoyang had already passed through the crowd and reached 250 steps. Boom, boom. There were 2 loud noises in succession, awakening everyone, only to see 200 steps. Yan and Zhanju had stepped into them, and a thunder fell above their heads. Although the 2 thunders seemed to have only the strength of the 2nd floor of the Golden Core, looking at the reactions of the 2 top powerhouses, the strength of the thunder is probably not worse than that of the 4th floor of Nascent Soul. Shocked by the thunder, everyone was relieved, no longer paying attention to Lin Haoyang, and they all started to climb the ladder with all their strength. Everyone hesitated for a short moment, and Lin Haoyang broke out with all his strength, and took the opportunity to climb 20 steps. In this way, they came to the second batch of teams, and at this moment everyone worked together to ascend to a higher place. Lin Haoyang had already exposed his strength before, and no one dared to underestimate Lin Haoyang. The task of promising Jian Shu to watch the tiger shark was also overfulfilled. From now on, Lin Haoyang started to do it for himself. Lin Haoyang's physical body erupted with full force, and 58 acupoints all over his body lit up together, and the collapse of the strength, the violent foot, and the original body were all used together. The speed is even faster than Ku Ling, White Soul Whale and others, instantly becoming the third person. From this, it can be seen that Lin Haoyang's physical strength is no worse than these Golden Core Realm's demonic beasts. When he arrived here, Lin Haoyang put away his red armor and began to ascend the ladder with all his strength. Soon, Lin Haoyang's physical advantage allowed Lin Haoyang to lead the second batch of people, but he didn't get too far away. Seeing that Lin Haoyang was getting farther and farther away from them, immediately, bursts of spirit power erupted, and a series of talented supernatural powers were urged. The overall speed of the human race and sea race ascending the ladder is 30% faster than before. Lin Haoyang walked in front of the crowd, watching the two Jian Shu fighting against the thunder rules, while thinking about the sound that appeared before. The strength of the person who can frighten the mermaid demon emperor is certainly not weak. It is very possible that the master of that voice is the spirit of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. Those who have not died after 20,000 years are either immortals or the spirits of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. Just like the little golden dragon, as long as the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda is not destroyed and can operate, the spirit will not collapse. 20,000 years later, the little golden dragon did not die, but fell into a deep sleep. At this moment, the 9 prime ministers Lulu's first came out together, and under the violent attack, they finally smashed the thunder and stepped into the 201st floor. Jian Shu did not dare to show weakness, the sea of swords expanded, and the thunder was sucked into it. Among them, the number of sword ray increased again. Under the cutting of countless flying swords, the terrifying thunder was wiped out. Yan Gang stepped into 201st level, and Jian Shu also stepped into 201st level. The strength of the two is not much different, and it is not easy to suppress each other. After a stick of incense, Lin Haoyang stepped into the 200th floor for the third time. As soon as Lin Haoyang stepped into the 200th floor, there was a roar above his head. Needless to think about it, Lin Haoyang knew that it was a sign that the thunder was about to fall. Lin Haoyang leads the 4th White Soul Whale by about 5 steps, close to 200 steps, and the pressure is almost close to the pressure of the 3 levels of nascent soul. Now every step forward, the pressure will increase greatly. Originally, Lin Haoyang thought that his strength was so advanced that he might have come into contact with the immortal world Tianzhou. It seemed that he still underestimated the immortal world. When he was in Shuyang Mountain, he was trapped by 10 stone bridges, and he felt that he could not climb it personally. Later, Lin Haoyang broke the mirror with the limit of his body, condensed gold core, and worshipped the great power of Jilingxi. He thought he had caught up with the god of the immortal world. Now it seems that Tianzhou of the immortal realm still leaves him far away. He condensed the gold core with strength, which was good in the fairy world, but Lin Haoyang was far behind in the practice of golden core. They also have the cultivation technique of the immortal family, there are treasures of the immortal family, and there are even more immortal pointers. How could it be worse than him? Can only be better. It won't be worse. In fact, this is not Lin Haoyang's problem, but is determined by the environment. The environment of the immortal world is much better than Lin Haoyang's current world. The environment is too poor and the resources are too poor. Lin Haoyang shook his head and stopped thinking. Boom. Thunder fell from the sky. As before, Lin Haoyang propped up a spirit power shield all over his body, and put the thunder outside first. The thunder fell on the shield, and the shield trembled fiercely. This thunder. Probably not worse than the nascent soul's 4th-tier cultivator's attack. Before Lin Haoyang opened the hole, it attracted thunder to fall. With the power of thunder, thunder directly smashed Lin Haoyang's spirit power shield. This is the equivalent of nascent soul's 4th-tier attack. You just rely on a spirit power shield to block it. Do you have some disrespect for others? Lin Haoyang's expression changed wildly. FK. He overturned. 77%. Chapter 460. Before he could think about it, thunder broke through his spirit power shield and continued to kill him. Thunder easily blasted his spirit power shield. He was sure that the thunder definitely had the power of the 4th layer of nascent soul. Lin Haoyang dared to pick up his own spirit power shield, so he was naturally confident in his own spirit power shield. Lin Haoyang's cultivation base broke through to the 9th floor of the golden core, and the gold core has also become a lot bigger. With the spirit power stored in his gold core, except that he doesn't have nascent soul, in fact, there is not much difference between him and the spirit power on the 1st and 2nd floors of nascent soul. The spirit power shield just now condensed almost 30% of the spirit in his body, and coupled with the purification of the Buddha's profound technique, the spirit power was extremely pure. His spirit power shield, even if it defends against the nascent soul 3-tier cultivator, is not a big problem. Now it was broken by thunder, which can only show that the power of thunder is more than 3 levels of nascent soul. The speed of thunder is too fast, and there is no time for Lin Haoyang to use too many methods. Lin Haoyang can only open the original body, forcibly reverse thunder into rules, and then absorb it with his body. What? Even if Lin Haoyang turned on the original body, the power of this thunder was too strong. Under a single strike, Lin Haoyang's left arm was paralyzed instantly, and then half of his body, or even the whole body, was completely paralyzed. Fortunately, Lin Haoyang's body had a big ascension before, otherwise Lin Haoyang might be hacked to death by this strike. Others were frightened by Lin Haoyang's situation. This is thunder so scary. Yan and Jianzhu also crossed before, except for a little bit of effort, they weren't that scary. The tiger shark, ranked 4th, instantly stepped back half of his position, preventing himself from approaching the 200 steps. Its physical body was considered powerful, but he couldn't stand it if he was smashed so violently. With Lin Haoyang alone, everyone who came to the 200 steps stopped at 199 places. They didn't dare to easily enter the 200 steps without seeing Lin Haoyang through the thunder tribulation. Haven't you seen people being hacked so badly? Everyone Yu Guang looked at Yan and Jian Shu. The two didn't look at them at all. After the thunder tribulation, they ran all the way, rushing out dozens of steps. Even Jian Shu turned a blind eye to Lin Haoyang's experience. Lin Haoyang stimulated the two and began to rush towards the door with all his strength. The whole body was paralyzed, making Lin Haoyang's thinking slower. Continuously being struck by lightning, Lin Haoyang's physical body continued to strengthen. Before, Lin Haoyang's body was equivalent to nascent soul late stage, but it was only equivalent to the 7th layer of golden core. Now, under the bombardment of the thunder, Lin Haoyang's physical strength is rushing towards the 8th floor of nascent soul. Bump. The source body is running at full capacity, and under the feedback of the physical body, Lin Haoyang successfully opens the 5th acupoints of the source body. Open 1 more acupoints, the mysterious power will be stronger, and the speed of dissolving the thunder will be faster. Thunder's power was still too violent, and it had exceeded the limit of his physical body. Lin Haoyang had no choice but to break the good fortune orb continuously, training and recovering at the same time. A stick of incense passed, Lin Haoyang still had 30% of the thunder left in his body. Finally, the white soul whale another sea clan couldn't hold it anymore, and began to step into the 200th floor. Hu Ling and the others didn't wait any longer and stepped directly into the 200th floor. Only a few human and sea tribes who are actually weaker are still climbing. After taking a glance, the others all chose to step into the 200th floor. Of course, they were extremely well prepared, unlike Lin Haoyang, who only had a spirit power shield to see thunder. When thunder had 20% left, an acupoints on Lin Haoyang's chest lit up. With the help of thunder forging his body, Lin Haoyang opened 2 acupoints. However, it is a pity that Lin Haoyang's physical strength is still unable to break through to the 8th level of nascent soul. However, after experiencing this thunder forging body, Lin Haoyang's body has some more thunder patterns. These thunder patterns and flame patterns have the effect of reducing the damage of corresponding attributes. However, Lin Haoyang's thunder pattern has just developed its embryonic form, and the weakening of the thunder is not strong. If Lin Haoyang perfects it in the future, it will be much easier when he passes through the nascent soul thunder catastrophe in the future. After stabilizing the 60th acupoints a little bit, Lin Haoyang used his original body with all his strength, and the remaining 2 to 3% of the thunder, which was not weatherproof, were absorbed and refined in a short time, making the thunder pattern on Lin Haoyang's body more complete. Lin Haoyang estimated that if he used all these thunder patterns, he could absorb 10% of the thunder. Regardless of the small 10%, at the time of transcends tribulation, even if it is only a little bit, it is a great thing. On that day, Hu Weiwei absorbed the power of the thunder because of the special 5th order magic talisman, making its transcends tribulation easier. Otherwise, based on her half-dead state, how can she kill tier 5 demonic beasts? Thank God for not being beheaded. For example, the green Zhao is the more miserable category. As soon as he finished the catastrophe, he was taken into the nest and his strength was greatly reduced. In the end, he was crushed to death by a group of golden cores, and he was quite aggrieved. As soon as Lin Haoyang's thunder dissipated, 4 or 5 figures rushed out in an instant, starting to attack the 200 to 300 steps. Lin Haoyang is not in a hurry. According to the current trend, the step pressure between 200 and 300 should be from early stage to late stage on the 3rd floor of nascent soul. Such pressure does not affect him too much. What he thinks is, what to do with those ladders and assessment changes at the back. So blindly, and finally you can't go down to 4 or 500 steps. What effect does this have? Even Yan and Zhanzhu, Lin Haoyang felt that they would not be able to walk in front of the portal, and the limit was 700 or 800 levels at most. Just like climbing a stone bridge and a floating island on Shuyang Mountain that day, there is no hope of success at all. More and more people rushed to the 300th level. Looking down, there is no one left. Brother Lin, are you injured? Here I am. Seeing that Lin Haoyang did not move, Sun Ning was a little worried. After solving own thunder, he came to Lin Haoyang. She broke through the thunder, exhausted all her efforts, and even the human knife used it several times before breaking the thunder. Although her strength is good, she still has too little experience, and there is not much to do when encountering these problems. Speaking of fighting techniques, she might not be afraid that Long Zhao and other Sea Clan powerhouses would either hide or lose both as soon as they were shot. With the help of some means given by sect, it should be no big problem to resist the next 100-level test, but after that, Sun Ning still knows herself and she can't continue. Faced with Sun Ning's concern, Lin Haoyang shook his head, thunder forged his body, and spent 8 good fortune orbs to protect his body from harm. Although the harvest is not small, the emergence is also huge. No, my injury here is not serious. I insight into some things, it's okay, you should ascend the ladder quickly. Lin Haoyang said. Seeing Lin Haoyang was okay, Sun Ning was relieved, but immediately looked bitter again and said, I'm only 500 ranks at most, and it's not too effective. Yang Bin may be stronger, but he may not be able to get past the 600th order. He is here to train himself. Lin Haoyang nodded. Sun Ning did not lie, as he expected. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang smiled on his face and said, Fellow Taoist son, do you believe it, Ed? Fellow Taoist son, do you believe it, Ed? Fellow Taoist